When the whole world was dragged into World War III, brave men like my father fought on the front lines. And they weren't alone. That was 20 years ago. Now it's up to us to carry on their legacy. And every so often, the earth from which we come gives way for something new, something greater to be born, and with them, even greater threats to face. Bring it on! Phenomenova. For you, Dad. For you.
Me? Gungaga.
Someone says, what's the future? Vaughn Coleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. How you guys doing? It's been I meant to finish that before my intro finished, but then I messed it up. Today is really interesting. I will say it is nice seeing so many people gravitating towards my Final Fantasy VII video essay again. For those of you that don't know, by the way, StreamYard is having some technical difficulties right now. I don't know what that's about, but it is. So I just got done with an interview, and I had some work I was going to do tonight. I was actually going to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I might still do that. But this is really interesting. So I'm a big Final Fantasy VII fan. I also stated an opinion on the internet months ago. Oh, not months ago. Sorry. It was like 2 weeks ago. I think I tweeted this shit out. And for some reason today, it just really popped off, this clip. And before it was like a supportive, but I was like, oh man, this didn't get the controversy I wanted. Well, not, I don't want to say wanted. All right, what kind of, but like, I didn't expect this. I expected people disagreeing. All right, so here's my thing. Okay, so I wanted to make content that was related to what I love, and I love Final Fantasy VII. And I'm so much so that there's an homage cover for my comic book, which is 3 days left. I'll get to that later, though. And I did a 2-hour video essay talking about the game, and I was like, well, crap. I want to gush about the game. And I was like, I had all this content. And here's the thing. YouTube algorithms, by the way, I feel like if it was a fresh channel and I just dropped this video, would have done better. But because YouTube algorithms have put me in like the comic book realm, I'm kind of like held to that. But I've been doing Final Fantasy VII content for a while. So I feel like the algorithm doesn't know what the hell to do with me. Like, I wish they would just let it do its thing. But I don't know. Listen, far be it from me to give criticism on the algorithm, right? But I know they favor consistency, but I've been consistently doing comic and Final Fantasy VII stuff. So I don't know what my current audience is, but whoever's there is there. That's what matters. And hopefully I'll be getting some new people in tonight because people are yelling at me on Twitter. But if they get the chance, let's see if these people actually want to have a conversation. I will say I had some very cool conversations, but I'm also having some very upset people. Very upset people with me on Twitter because uploaded this clip. I was making clips from my video essay, and what I've been doing is like every time there's something trending related to Final Fantasy VII, chances are I talked about it in the video. So I'll upload either a clip from my gaming streams related to said character or thing, or I will post something. And I did post that. Like something about Cloud and Tifa being a couple. Tifa is probably trending for like the 5 millionth time. She always is. And I always post when Tifa's trending, of course. Gotta support my wife. You know. And I remember I was like, okay, here's a nice thing, but let me make the caption a little spicy, but not too spicy, but enough for like maybe some controversy, and then people will come to my video, you know. And I think once I tweeted something like that, like Aerith fans are coping or whatever. Here's the thing, and I didn't think about it that much, but I was like, it could be some controversy or whatever, and people will come to see the thing. But in all honesty, it's not like I'm looking for a serious fight. Like, okay, but I did state an opinion on the internet, and holy shit, are they mad? They're very mad. And by the way, maybe I'll open up if people like want to come on and talk. They're more than welcome to. But so all right, here's enough beating around the bush. What happened? All right, what did I do? What, Vaughn? What did you do? What provoked you to provoke them? I guess. Well, I'm still getting notifications. By the way, still getting notifications. Where is this? Okay, this was May 5th. So this is more than a week ago that I tweeted this. But for some reason today it got popular. Now it's at 12.2k views, which thanks. Hang on. It's translating a little bit to the video essay that I have linked below, but not as much as I would have liked. Someone already has a response video to me. There are some allegations that have been levied against me that I didn't see coming. I did not see coming. It's crazy. All right, we're getting like the full drama. We haven't gone into full-on personal attacks yet, although I have been soy jacked already, which is I think that's the first time I've been soy jacked, really. I mean, not like they haven't drawn me as one, but this. So this little clip of my, well, so first of all, the caption, I decided to like be a little spicy with the caption. Stating, all right, so Final Fantasy VII must have been trending at the time. Stating that Cloud and Tifa are the canon Final Fantasy VII couple is not about preference or shipping. It's a matter of understanding their character arc, storytelling, and the game's themes. Their hero's journey and character arcs lead them directly to each other. So I could see how it could be seen as a little like, you're stupid if you don't believe this, which I was feeling very high and mighty after this video essay, very, very good about myself. But I firmly do believe this stance. I really do. But I heard some interesting points of view today, which I think is nice when I had a civil conversation. It was a really civil conversation. I want to highlight that person first and foremost. Well, maybe not first and foremost, but I will highlight that person because it was really nice. Okay, now let's watch the clip in question. In this very moment, as he holds the girl of his dreams in one arm and dangles from a cliffside in the other, saving her from plummeting below, Cloud Strife finally delivers on his promise to Tifa from years ago and becomes the hero he always wanted to be, the hero he was all along. This moment on the cliffside directly parallels one from their childhood. Then he was too weak. He was too unprepared. He wasn't fast enough. He wasn't strong enough. And this time he is. The same brave, heroic heart, the same love and care for Tifa, only this time, through many years, through many trials, tribulations, and lots of hard work, he finally succeeded. He was finally ready for her, and she accepts him and praises him in loving, open arms. In this very... Okay, so a few things. First of all, incredible job on that video by me. Like, I'm so enthusiastic. I spent so much goddamn time on that video. Like, guys, holy shit. A few things before we get it to the actual point. Second of all, if you'll notice, I have been always too lazy to do the Cloud hair. One day I will do the Cloud hair. I should put on the Cloud costume, but I wanted to like get right to this, honestly. Wow, it's hot. All right. I got to get the Cloud hair done right, but can we appreciate how much better my hair is now? Like, look at this. So much better. I could have spent more time on it though, but I did want to get right to this video because I was writing earlier, and then I had to promote my comic in an interview. So that's what I did. I don't know how many active viewers there are on Twitter, by the way. because it does this thing where it shows you, but it doesn't really show you. Okay. Anyway, we're just gonna keep going with the show. All right, so there we go. So that's the clip. People, I think, were more upset with this than what I actually, because I didn't even like really give a stance on shipping or anything like that. I just wanted a clip of me talking about it, and then I came up with that cap. I don't remember my exact mindset, but it was something along those lines of, oh, maybe it'll spark some controversy, whatever, but it'll lead them to the video essay. And then eventually to my comic, because I do have a Final Fantasy VII homage cover for my comic. But that was basically my mindset, right? Okay. Let's see. How many quote tweets do we have to go? I'm still getting notifications. Okay. Actual cringe. All right, hold on. I'm being called cringe. This is horrible. I can't believe this. Help me. Where are my fellow Final Fantasy VII fans? This guy seems really cool. All right, he did a response to me. Oh, we follow each other now. Nice. Vaughn, you seem like a pretty solid guy, but I have a lot of objective issues with your video and how you connected it with this tweet. By the way, the video is actually very well put together. Oh, he watched the full video. What a good guy. He did watch it before. I'm putting together a React video. It's coming very soon. Okay, I got to watch his React video. I will watch it, but I think I'm going to go through all the replies first. Thank you. I'd love to hear it, man. Keep the discussion open. Yeah, it's hard to sum up all my thoughts in a tweet. Hell, even 2 hours for the video essay isn't enough. Trying to get people to watch the full video, which is true. That was my point, right? That was the point. Wanted to watch the full video. What is claret? So, all right. Also, so claret. All right. Oh yeah, maybe I should have specified. So Cloud and Aerith as a couple, they have dubbed Clarith. What's offensive? Okay, nothing's offensive. And Clawty is Cloud and Tifa. Take note, Jeremy from GG. He ignored. Well, but I'm doing this because it's funny. Listen, I'd agree, but I wanted to do this because it's funny and to engage with some people who are discovering me for the first time. You know, and then I will say I prefer this drama, this controversy over like actually people being mad at me. Like if it's about stuff I'm interested in, it's fun. That being said, I don't want to become a drama channel or just drama farm, but yeah. Clawty is the name of Cloud and Tifa. Now, personally, so I have a question for shipping real quick. So is it have to be the male name first, or does it happen to be? Now, Clawty is a stupid sounding name, but I guess the other options would be Clawfa or Clauf. I don't know. So I guess Clawty is all we got. Clarith does sound better, even though I am Cloud and Tifa. Tifa's my wifey. I do love Aerith, though. That's the thing. I love both characters. Okay. Anyway, so he did a response to me. A response video on me. So we're going to get to that. Now, I have some all right, we're going to get through all of this. I want to give a shout out. In fact, maybe I should. Oh, she fell. All right, you know what? I should send her the link. Hey, man, mutual of the guy who reacted to your video, proud CA fan who watched your video and happy to give the CSI a respectful way. Yes, this is what I love. Respect. Also, some people say Clotty, more like Clotty. But why would it be Clo? Because his name's not Claude. See, civil dialogue about stuff I love. Let's hear it. Speaking of which, we'll get to that. Yeah, I'd love to. If honestly, I'll send people the link if they want to just hang out. Why not? It's up to you. If you want to come on, man, like sure. I'm gonna send Aliana. Sorry, there's an Ariala. Who I've also talked to about this subject. Wow, what a lovely story. OMG, in Love, True Love. Okay. Oh, so she started off still listed as just a friend in the Doc strategy. Player shows not canon. All right, so look at that. It's a little back and forth. And then you see it slowly become a respectful thing. Kill him with kindness. But it's also genuinely kindness. You know, like, I want to use this time to shout out the CA, CT, and FF7 fans who keep things civil and are more interested in debating theories and trading facts and welcome perspectives of their own. Thank you for being community on here and maybe keep it up together. This is so cursed. Oh, that's horrifying. Oh my God. I love it. All right, I'm going to send her the link. I'll just be like, hey, if she wants to come on. Yeah, I'll send her. She's cool. Hold on a second. Let me just. There you go. All right. And then I'll DM the other guy too. Anyway, where were we? Back to business. Back to business. All right. Totally cool. Shit. Sure, why not? I'm on a private account. You want to talk? Let me know. And I'll tell you, I'm on a private account. So if you want to talk, let me know, and I'll tell you. Yeah. I guess I don't know what the best way to tell me since it's a private account. Just let me know. Yeah, I'm gonna go through all this first, and then I'll invite you on. But yeah. Oh wait, shit! I gotta share my screen again. Yeah, I'd have you on. Why not? Why not? Let's make an event out of this. Let's make this fun. I'm always, interested in getting more. Just talking about this. What is chapter 1 of what? What's chapter 1 came out? All right. It was Nojima. Okay, so we had a whole discussion. We'll go through this. We'll go through this in depth. My guy even altered the dialogue from the scene. Even the font doesn't match up. So this guy, this Dizzy Shark, I did the kill it with kindness thing. Did not work. Okay, cool. Yes, send me the Discord. This guy has been tweeting at me like I was on a live show, tweeted at me multiple times on a live show, or a girl. I don't know. It's Dizzy Shark guy or girl. I don't know. Does not like me. Not a fan. Not a fan of Vaughn Coleman. I will say that. Unfortunate. I think we can meet her there soon. I think I can meet her there. Okay, so apparently, because I didn't know this, apparently the version I used is not the original version. Because here's what I did when I was uploading the footage. By the way, I do recommend people record their own gameplay footage, but I played this game years ago and didn't record it. And so because of that, I was like, shit, I'll just find stuff, which actually became difficult because I was describing in my video essay, which I wrote 49 pages of, God, holy God. I was describing how I struggle with boss fights. And then when I was looking up and I was describing specific issues I had, and I was looking up footage, it was tough because all the people that upload gameplay footage of the Sephiroth fight are actually like good at the game, and I'm an idiot. So I was trying to convey like my struggles with it, and they all have better stats than I had. They're higher level than I had. They actually know what they're doing. So that was tough. But anyway, apparently, if you go up and look up Final Fantasy VII full playthrough, no commentary, it was like this one. You could literally see the logo in the corner. So this guy is generally saying that, and multiple people have said this, that I personally edited the. So wait, did he make this graphic, by the way? Like, did he take the time to just say edited? And yeah, he did. This guy took the time to really, because I thought this was a thing that is holy shit. And then I just said, bro, I didn't edit the dialogue. This game had dialogue changes. I didn't even realize there was another version. And he goes, there are two official English translations of the game, the original PS1 and PC port. Both of them have the same. So I played the PC one for context. The footage I used must have been from the PlayStation one. I don't know. Or I should put my Discord in chat. Oh, wait, hold on. I'll just add you. I'll just make it simple. Hold on. I gotta. All right, I'll upload it. Stargazer Spirits. How do I do it? Stargazer Spirits. How do you add people in this app again? All right. There you go. All right, let me know if you got it. Anyway, back to business. We're still going on about I haven't played the last scene. I haven't even finished the game. I was going to play more of it tonight. So hopefully no one spoils it. But I've been seeing like screenshots and hearing things. It's a miracle I haven't had the full game spoiled, but I've heard like little bits and pieces. And I was like looking up clips from the game, and I'm like, dude, I should just play the game. Anyway, all right. ADHD. Sorry, where was I? So this guy is accusing me of like literally, like I personally doctored the footage. And I'm like, for a narrative. And I'm like, you really? I mean, I guess people do anything on the internet, but like, really? All right. So wait, what are the other differences in this? Because I am curious. I think I'm beginning to understand. All right. That's the original version of the line. And then I think I'm beginning to understand. All right. So there's just the dots. So this version, I think I can meet her there. And then this version is, I think I can meet her. All right. So these are just so these are not the ones I did. Okay. So this guy is like insisting that I'm an idiot, which in some ways, I'm sure. So I just said I just downloaded the footage. You could see the watermark. And then he's showing me screenshots about how I'm a dumbass. He did a little more digging. Okay, this guy did more research than I did, which he's probably going to yell at me for. Anyway, all right. So what did this guy say? Really? I didn't remember. I have the PS1 disc and the versions. What version are you playing? You have added dialogue in your version. Really? I don't remember this version. I played my modified dialogue. The version I played had modified dialogue. Ah, shit. Fuck. God damn it. All right, See, I'm going to keep playing nice, but this guy's going to scream at me still for spreading misinformation. Like, I'm sorry. I didn't want to have misinformation. I was trying to keep it accurate. Now, I did notice some translation differences between this one and that, but I assumed it was because one of them was a PC, one of them's the PlayStation or updated. This game has been around for 20-something years. It stands and it was made in Japanese. I didn't think anything of it. I genuinely didn't think anything of, like, I was like, well, of course things change in 20s. This game is older than me. I'm a 24-year-old man. All right. This guy was being respectful. He made a valid point and said, hey, I think you made your title something like my thoughts or my take on. It would have saved you the trouble with dealing with this. That is true. However, in my defense, oh, you're going to like this, LA. This is actually fun drama. In my defense, look at how many views I'm getting now. You know what I mean? Like, people are, if I just said, ha ha ha, my little whatever, people wouldn't have come over to this. So you'll be mad at me. And then what happens is when they talk to me, they'll find out, oh, Vaughn's not an asshole who's just like shitting on people with different opinions. He's actually like a cool guy. I'm like, hell yeah. You want to follow me? You want to follow my YouTube channel? You want to buy my comic book? 42-year-old man and a 24. I had a teacher tell me that once. She was like, Vaughn, you sound like I was in senior in high school. And she's like, you sound like an old man. And like a kid. And I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, it's true. You know, I do, because I look at my analytics. Like my average viewers, like teenagers don't gravitate to me. I do notice my average viewers are like 25, 35, and 35 to like 45. That's where most of my viewers are. And I'm always wondering, I'm like, why is that? And it's like, well, probably because everything I talk about is old. Like I just made a video essay on a game that came out 20 years ago. More than 20 years ago, 26 years ago, 27, 26 years ago. You know, I talk about comics that were made 40 years ago. My favorite comic book run is Chris Claremont's X-Men run, which ended in 1991, started in 75. You know, so of course my fans are probably older because, you know, most people my age lack my exquisite taste. Where was I going with this? I don't know. All right, hold on. I got some comments. Okay, so basically Tifa's theme is playing in the background during the scene and she nuzzles Cloud. H is obviously not talking with some lover's reunion with it. That's what I'm saying. All right, I feel like I'm being gaslit. Because I made a tweet about this not long ago and she took my side. God bless you. The original doesn't say, I think I can meet her there, but it's a mistranslation. So what is the original translation? Oh, you guys know each other? That's cool. It's like a reunion. Nice. Incredible. Passionate fan just like the rest of us. I guess this is part of the experience to deal with the fandom lol. This is the first time I've really dealt with like angry shippers. I wonder if because I'm writing my own stuff. I do wonder if I'll have angry shippers like this. And should I just like be civil? Or should I? Oh, this guy tweeted this while I was live. Holy shit. They're still going at me. Oh my God. Holy shit. See, is this a bot or a real person? Place your bets. Yep, it's a fucking bot. All right, great. Because I'm always like, oh, this pretty girl like my... Oh, no, she didn't. That's not... Holy shit. I'm getting so... This is going to be a nonstop stream of content. Get it? Because it's a stream. All right, shit. All right, let's get back. Let's get back to business. All right, fuck. I gotta go. All right. Where is it? Okay. Here we go. Full video. All right, so we're gonna keep going through the replies. Hey, champ. Hi, champ. Just wondering why this line is... Dude, this guy went off aggressive because he was like, hi, champ. Fuck no. Never doing that. You're 100% being gaslit. There is, in fact, a quote from one of the official books that Clara is talking about he and Tifa meeting loved ones together in the afterlife. I'll find it. Please do. Thank you. Yeah, they go over this line specifically. I didn't know that because I pay attention to like video essays and stuff, but like I don't pay attention with like Twitter culture. You know, I don't. With it, I just kind of like tweet like I like tweets of Tifa being hot, because she is, and like the occasional thing. But like I haven't gotten this deep in the weeds, which is kind of interesting. Like, yeah. I'm pretty sure FF7 was made on American team at Square Hawaii, so there would be no translation. All right, now you're just fucking with me. There's no goddamn way. There is no dude, awesome one. They're going through like, and you have to understand too. This is a 49-page video essay. Let's say I got a fact wrong. This is a 60+ hour game. If I get like a few facts wrong, God, I'm sorry. And they're also like, you didn't address every argument. Dude, I had to stop at 49 pages. I had to stop myself from writing because I'm like, I can't keep doing this. Like, there are so many things. I skipped over a whole plot lines in the game. Still over 2 hours long. I can't. You think I could address everything? It wasn't like a dedicated Cloud and Tifa shipping video either. It was just about the story, and I just pointed to that it's an integral point. Anyway, okay. Hey, champ, just wondering why this line has changed. I said, you're the second person to say this. IDK, man, wrong footage. I downloaded, I was making it. Why would I intentionally alter text in just such a minute way? Which turns out I misread it. Hey, buddy, not making any accusations. So he was being nice because I couldn't tell. I can't tell because he said, hi, champ. And I was just like, hey, champ, why'd you do this? You might have actually been being nice. But, dude, I was being crucified by these people. Crucified by them. Okay. Multiple people have made like entire threads disagreeing with me. Holy shit. Which I welcome, by the way. I welcome the Discord. Why did it blow up today? I tweeted this like almost 2 weeks ago. Vaughn, you can call me Tay, and I could say with certainty that incorrect sensations you got from Stygian. The incorrect sentence you got is from Stygian and her friend. Well, no, I didn't group out like. Holy shit, is there real drama? Wait, are you guys actually like beefing? Like I thought you just had a different like hang on. Like I didn't think this was an actual fucking war. No, I didn't get this from any group. All right, here's what hold on a second. I'll go back to this. I didn't get it from a fucking group. I got it literally like all these people are new to me. I mean, Stygian liked my tweet a while ago, but like I've had these opinions for a while. I just made. Why you like? That's an interesting topic for tonight. All right, I'm gonna be missing out on that shit because I'm gonna keep talking about this. God damn it. All right, hold on, real quick. These are my friends that are live streaming. Can't join you guys because I'm #drama streaming, but have fun. There we go. Why am I still not modded? All right, fuck it. Fuck you, Jake. I'm going to like the video anyway. Okay, where was I going with this? Okay. If I look up Final Fantasy 7 full playthrough, no commentary. Ready? This is the one. This is it. This is it. No one fed it to me. That's how I found it. See, I have the playlist. I think I have it saved. Or did I just have it in a tab the whole time I was editing over the course of a very long period of time? All right. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. All right. Awesome one. I will read you, baby. All right. Apparently, StreamYard is having difficulties. Are you guys, is the stream okay? Are we alive? Are we okay? All right, I'm gonna wrench you, dude. All right. Where were we? Back to business. Back to business. Okay. All right. See, notice how I'm very nice to people screaming at me. I don't know if this person's screaming. Okay, wait, did they tweet this before or after they discovered me? I can't tell. This was from May 4th, so All right. I find it strange that you start the video with a scene in which Cloud says he wants to find the promised land to meet Aerith there. To say Tifa is the default. All right. Literally, I wasn't even looking at the text when I was editing that clip. I don't think, maybe I was, but I was more my hope was in a 2-hour video essay, you would just be focused on my words and the visual of the cutscene. I could have cut the text out, but then people would accuse me of manipulating it. I just was reusing, because I talk about that scene of them going on the cliffside for multiple pages of the script. Now that's like maybe 20, 30 seconds of gameplay, maybe a minute. So I had to like loop that shit for it to make sense with what I was saying or reuse footage. So if you're like, why doesn't it match up? Probably because I talk about, like, break it down detail by detail, and there's just not enough footage. That's why when I was editing the video. So it was more, I was trying to get the visual that she's holding Cloud and nuzzling into him. It wasn't about the text there. I just wanted to show the visual. Is this your comic or the game too? What do you mean? The game. My comic has an homage cover. We'll get to that in a bit. Okay. Cloud was a lonely kid. He was isolated, alienated, excluded, and rejected. This all includes all the kids in the village, and one of them was Tifa. I can't keep quiet about an important part of Cloud's story just because truth makes some people... Okay, here we go. Tifa loves a hero that can rescue her, not a loner weirdo. Cloud is not even noticed. Well, that's true, because Cloud was a little bitch boy. I'm sorry. He needed to grow up, man up. You know what I mean? I love Cloud. But he needed to get his shit together, man. Love the man. But 2 years had passed and she forgot about Cloud after he left the village. She remembered him when they mentioned Shinra was investigating the reactor and the monsters coming out of it, and they might send soldiers. She also realizes that she has so very few memories with him. That is true. All right, more than 2 years had passed and she hadn't ever heard a word from him. She'd believed the memory was sealed away deep inside where it could no longer be threatened to overwhelm. Her cheeks flushed hot. Which cheeks? Sorry, I'm just joking. She scrambled to push her father out of her room and slammed the... What is this from? Can someone send me reading recommendations? I want to read more about my wife. Tifa called Brian for his... Hang on. So the people in the town are like Zangan, Cloud, Tifa, and then Brian? Are you fucking kidding me? I've never heard the name Tifa outside of Final Fantasy VII. What ethnicity is it? All right, whatever. Or is it made up for the game? Does Tifa mean something? All right. Sorry, Dad. Night. Sleep well. Tifa herself spent a sleepless night tossing and turning into bed as she counted off every conversation or interaction with Cloud that she could recall. There were fewer than she'd hoped. In fact, it was startling. How could she grow up next door to someone and know so little about him? Because he was a little bitch. Okay. We know that. So that's no new information. Okay, shit. Are we getting into Rebirth spoilers? Because I can't look at Rebirth spoilers. Is this a spoiler? Even after the Nibelheim incident, Tifa went through hell to survive, heal, and establish herself in Midgar. And she found herself established and healed. Why aren't you just saying established? She still didn't think of Cloud. She forgot about him for 5 years, not on her radar. Let's see. What does Yuffie have to say about this?
Tifa said she was so busy after the move to Midgard that she forgot all about you too.
What the fuck? Well, she also was going through some major shit. Okay, just hang on. First of all, she could have forgotten about Cloud for years after her family got murdered. That's forgivable. Look, if I'm, let's say there's a girl I already know who I end up getting a relationship with. If her fucking, yes, I know I have dick sucking lips. God damn it. All right. If my family got murdered, and then I'm not thinking about a chick that I barely knew back in the day for 5 years, that doesn't mean that later I won't be into them. Like, that's not really a... She finds him after 5 years. And can you translate? All right. And she finds for Tifa, who had lost her hometown, was all alone, being reunited with Cloud. She noticed childhood, especially meaning this is why Tifa feared losing him and everything else, even though she felt something was wrong. I mentioned that in my video. Perfect analysis by Vaughn Coleman. One more piece of Ultimania that shows that the promise to be her hero and her fantasy of being rescued by one, what triggered Tifa's infatuation with him. Okay. Yes, we know that. So she was... One day when we're older, if I'm ever trapped, you'll come and save me. The rooted in the Jejun... Hang on, Jejun. What's Jejun? Big boy words here. Naive? Hang on. Excuse me, that's not naive. If a girl wants to be rescued, she's entitled to. What the fuck? They're insulting her. They're insulting my wife of being rescued in a pinch right here. This promise is clearly etched in Tifa's memory. Are they saying this is like problematic or something? What the fuck out of it. All right, anyway. Okay. There's still not evidence against her.
Before.
Hang on. How are they going to twist this scene and say that this wasn't romantic? They were going to kiss. This scene, by the way, the Gongaga section in remake, at first I was like, why are they adding a section? Why are they adding a section? And then I ended up really liking the section.
You stayed when I needed you most. If that's not a hero, then I don't know what is. You saved me before. Now it's my turn.
He's getting ready to close his eyes. He was... Bro, like... All right. They clearly... This person... Yes, sorry, I will get you on. I'm sorry, I want to address these tweets, and then I will have you on. I will get you on. I'm sorry, I just want to go through this myself first, and then Staging, if you want to... Whoever wants to come on and talk about this. Yes. Sorry, I'm just responding to chat right now, and then... Okay. That person... That's a thing, too. I want to say this. That's a thing, too. Is... I love Aerith. It feels like the Aerith fans fucking hate Tifa. Like, I don't see Tifa fans going, yeah, Aerith sucks. Like, LE, who was in the chat earlier, calls Tifa a hussy. And I'm like, come on, man. But he does it jokingly. I don't believe Tifa was maliciously isolated and inclined to be mean or evil. I believe Tifa is a person who cares too much about what people think. She doesn't reach out to Cloud because of what was said about him. She's so unaware of him that she thinks he rejected her. I just don't agree with that read of the character at all. I think that's a very false read of the character. Tifa is deeply insecure, and she wants... people, she's afraid, and she wants her like knight in shining armor, and she's so lonely. I really psychoanalyzed the character in my video essay, so I'll go definitely check that out on my channel. So if you're new in the chat, subscribe, baby, to my incredible YouTube channel, because I'm also on Twitter now. So my full video essay, if you want my full thoughts instead of, because a lot of people just are watching a clip and reading a tweet and they're like, oh, I know his whole... No, you don't. Watch it's a less than minute clip from a over 2-hour video essay. All right. Fabulous 5. Most of the time, he straight up ignored us. The way he reacted, the other boys were referring to him as a weirdo, menace to society. Tifa glanced at Cloud, who led on their grasslands. Cloud would have undoubtedly overheard their story, but he gave no sign of acknowledgement. I don't believe she thinks she was so unaware. So she was unaware of him, but she was also a dumb... They were both kids. Like, are we really going to use shit that they said as a kid? Like, Cloud literally admitted that he was an idiot as a kid. Like, also, if I meet a girl as a kid, like, what if she becomes hot later? Or vice versa. What if a girl meets a guy as a kid and then he becomes hot later? You know, like, feelings change, or people can grow and evolve. Well, here at Cloud's POV and Nibelheim in the live stream, we know Tifa's accounts of who rejected, who are incorrect. Cloud wanted to be included. He wanted to be part of the group, and he did everything he could to get noticed. Well, not everything he could. That's not true at all. He didn't do everything he could because he was a socially awkward idiot who didn't even approach them. So if he had just asked, she probably would have been like, yeah.
Really? But you seemed fine on your own.
Oh, this is spoiler. I'm going to get to this section tonight. Shit.
Each other that way.
All right. I can't look at that because it's a spoiler for I'm about to get to the Nibelheim section. I can't look at that, even though it would. So I wish I had gotten the Nibelheim section first, and I do want to complete the game soon, just so I can continue engaging in these conversations, and because I want to. This takes us to another reason she believes that she and Cloud were childhood friends, even though they barely spoke. Okay, why is this? Hang on, how is this anti? Most confirmation can be seen in the Maka reactor. But all right, so far this is nothing I don't know. Yes, we know all this. All right, we know all this. My opinion, Cloud Tifa situation on Tifa's side, and the lore makes me think this way. And yes, I'm aware that playing when they were little. Turn up the comments so I don't have to clog the thread. Also, I got to wait. So, what point? There was no new information in here. There was literally no new information in here. I know all of this. That didn't prove any point. Okay, gave some recommendations. All right, I'm gonna on the way to Smile. Okay. The more I read people like me, motherfucker, you watched a 1 minute people like me. The more I believe there are alternative times in already. We must have played Rebirth in a different. I didn't finish it, so a lot of assumptions, all of them wrong. Response 1. So this person did multiple responses to me. There's always something in the deepest reaches of our hearts. I remember Aerith a lot. Okay. That doesn't mean we know he had feelings for Aerith. No one is refuting that he had feelings for Vaughn, best girl. Damn, don't you know it? No one's refuting that he had feelings for Aerith. At least I certainly am not. But there are people that are like, yeah, Cloud has no romantic feelings for Tifa. It's like, none. I'm sorry. Let's remove even if you think he's more in love with Aerith. Men, look at Tifa. You know what I mean? Damn, he really looks like... See, this person's dropping compliments. God bless you. All right, this person's... All right, everyone's laughing at me. Whatever. Oh, is this a bot? Yeah, this is a bot. I was like, oh, maybe they're contributing to the conversation. They're not. I only report people like that, really. Now it's good to see you have some good comprehension skills. FF7 is not that deep, but some people have trouble understanding. Oh. Based, Nick. Thank you. Excellent. I apologize. I know people want to come in and hop on the call. You will get to. Okay. What she's attempting to say is Tifa's only interested in Cloud saving her, not interested in Cloud himself. Well, she's forgiven for thinking that as a child. I mean, there were girls that I liked it when I was that age that I would be like, oh yeah, I love her personality. It was because she had nice tits. You know, like, children are immature. Like, that's okay. Like, that's not a valid argument. Tifa didn't say that about him. The boys said that too. Yeah, exactly. The boys, Tifa didn't give a shit at all. He was like, yeah, Cloud can join. And the other boys like, yeah, he's a nerd. She was like, whatever. Zach was Tifa. Zach was Tifa? Cloud was... That's just... There's no evidence of that. No evidence. Zach is a Chad, though. Like, maybe she looked at Zach and was like, yeah. But yeah, hang on, that's a point. If she was looking for a soldier, then why didn't she just a soldier and not Cloud at all and felt nothing for Cloud? Then why didn't she immediately fall in love with Zach? That's a good point, actually, that you didn't even intend to make. But why didn't she? Because correct me if I'm wrong, her and Zach had no chemistry, right? Like romantic chemistry. Because I think she genuinely didn't see Zach that way because she was so dead set on looking for Cloud. Now, if Cloud meant nothing and she just wanted a soldier to save her, and here's a soldier to save her, why didn't she go, I want me some of that Zach? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Aerith fan who does not hate Tifa here, but she knows she got a lot of trauma. I'm happy to... Yeah, no, I'm not... Sorry, I want to make it clear. I'm not strawmanning anyone. Yes, I will have you on. I'm sorry. I'm just going through all these and addressing them by myself before I bring people on. So I will bring fans on. Or just people in general to talk. Ellie, you can even have a link. Was for... I think Cloud had Zach's memories of Tifa. But but Zach barely had any memories of Tifa. Because he met her like that one time. Now, granted, it was a crazy time. Holy shit! 8 more? 8 more? 8 more. Wow. Response 2. All right. Did you see it? What is it that you are searching for? We came to tell you our memories. Come, planet, show us your answer. Okay, that doesn't prove anything. I know that would happen. Watch my video essay, please. I address these points. I love that the hashtag has a little Sephiroth, by the way. Okay, 3. Tifa agrees to help Cloud be with Aerith. An answer from the planet, the Promised Land. I think I could meet her there. Well, Tifa probably wants to meet her too, because they were best friends. And also, being with Aerith means killing him. Is that what you're... Oh, I'll help you be with Aerith, all right? You like her better than me, bitch? Fucking kills Cloud. Oh, I'll send you to Aerith, all right, bitch. You know, that would be funny as shit. That'd be that'd be so fucking funny. Someone should make an animation of that. That's really funny. Okay. Did you play all the OG? You missed key part. All right. Did you watch my full video essay or did you watch a 46-second clip? Either way, clip that gave Vaughn. Yeah, that was pretty good. Dude, listen, I grew up in a house full of women. And my male cousin who stayed with us a lot was gay. So, you know, I could do the feminine stuff. God damn it. You miss key parts. Bugenhagen Clouds asked the planet, show him what he's searching for, a way to reunite with Aerith. Did he? I don't remember that. Bugenhagen says there's always something in the deepest reaches of our heart. Send me the clip. Later, Cloud asks the planet for an answer, what he's looking for. Based on Cloud's personal memories, the planet gives him an answer. He can find Aerith in the honestly, and the woman in the deepest reaches of his heart. Okay, send me that. Because I remember looking through the conversation. I don't remember, like, when I was going through the gameplay, I do not remember seeing it. But now that I know, I'm looking at, like, doctored footage or whatever. Okay. Both, what the fuck? Deleted? Both ladies play a different but critical role to Cloud. In that aspect, both relationships have canon aspects. Player choice also has some agency here, so arguing canon is really relevant in FF7. In the end, one of them is dead and the other situation is kept ambiguous. It shouldn't be, in my opinion, because I think it's pretty obvious what the original intent were. Okay. See, that's a respectful individual. We like that around here. I like that. Okay. This is another tweet I made. Mate, there doesn't need to be debate at all. CNT are shown living together. See, this guy's based as well. For me, I always went with Cloud and Aerith. It's set up perfectly with her showing Cloud the beauty in the world. No, he no longer saw value in. It makes her death that much more important. I'm going to like it, even though I don't fully agree when he has to hold on to that idea. See, I can't respond to everyone in person, but I get it. Listen, I get it. She's integral to Cloud's arc for that reason, right? I get it. But I don't think that was, I think she was intended for that arc. All right, so now this one. This actual creds, you legit omitted the most important part. Dude, all right, so I omitted that because I was when you're constructing a video essay, that's one of the things. There were so many parts that I was editing the footage and I was like, oh, that's such a good point. I didn't even notice. That's not even in my script. I want to include it. Like that part of Aerith reaching out through the live stream, I was like, dude, at this point, I don't have time to include that footage because it was like I had my script written. And the next point, it was like the live stream reaches out and then Aerith's theme plays and then Tifa. I forget what I actually say in the video, but I think no, wait, hold on a fucking second. I literally addressed this. I'm pissed. This is over a 46-second clip where the original video essay is linked underneath. God damn it. But I didn't do any research though. Fuckers couldn't even scroll down. God damn it. God damn it. Call me cringe? All right, this guy made a 15-minute video on me. I got to go through it. I'm sorry for holding the devs. There's no canon. These people. All right, I'm one of these people. Hashtag these people. These people are me. The devs, there's no canon pairing in FF7. Both CA and CT are left up for interpretation. I think they're just scared of people like you, honestly, is why they said that. Devs bend the knee a lot these days. Also depends on choices and interpretations. These people, CT are canon because I said... No, not because I said so. I gave a reason. It's not about preference, guys. I promise. Just know we better than the... Well, first of all, are we supposed to believe that Vaughn, I think I can help. Yeah, but you need to start getting some people on. I will have absolutely. Do you guys want me to start getting people on soon? Because I wanted to address all these things beforehand. I don't want to keep people like. I do want to get you on. Guy played the game with his eyes. This guy fucking hates me. Jesus, man. Dude, no offense. You spelled offense wrong. But editing Cloud's line, I think I can meet her there too. I think we can meet her there. Just to canonize your ship is so cringe and weird. I have no problem with different preferences, but don't twist things. I didn't make the footage. I just downloaded it. My B. I didn't make the game. I want to make it clear. Game, because I did make the other footage. All right, there we go. Boom. All right. See Tifa's best girl. See? Yeah, there we go. If you truly understand the story of FF7, you know that there is no canonical choice and that everything is 100%. Saying that your waifu is canon choice is preference and you're indeed participating in shipping. All right, hang on. I have a question for you. By that logic, if I say that Sue Storm and Reed Richards get married, is that participating in shipping, or is that just saying they got married in the comics? You know what I mean? Like if I say Cyclops and Jean Grey are a couple, is that shipping? This is why, like, I don't labels and terms. Like shipping is a more recent trend. Like this version, Clawtease stopped changing the context narrative of the game. The original line, the promised land, I think, like meter. All right, I'm trying, guys. All right, that guy has a 15-minute video. I don't want to keep you guys waiting in the chat too much longer. Hold on. I do want to address, because I am going to talk about that guy's video. I promised him I'd look at it, and then I got distracted by writing. I was writing. I kept getting distracted from writing by this, and now I'm getting distracted. Okay. Where was it? All right. Bro, a bunch of them are pissed, so they got mad at me. Some people being critical of your opinions you put on there isn't them being pissed off, go off, I guess. But you are pissed. These people are pissed. They're not just being critical. They're actually like using insults. Like you could be critical about me without being pissed. The Aerith fans are being unreasonably mean about my video. No, the Aerith fans are annoyed that you're using doctored. Okay, the doctored footage thing. Dude, do I have to like verify? You need to know. And I will get you on. Give me a second. We're just annoyed that you use blatant mistranslation and doctored clip in your video to prove your agenda. I don't have an agenda. I just like the game. But sure, maybe it's our fault. We're rightfully criticizing your bias AF video, man. It's because, dude, can we all just like this game? No ship is canon because Aerith died. Opinions are just opinions. They're not fact. Thus, your opinion is not factual. That's why Aerith fans like myself are annoyed you're not being on. So they are annoyed. So they are annoyed. So they are pissed. They are actually pissed. You can't be like, but go off, I get. Like, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Like, you're fucking mad. It's okay. It's okay if you're mad. Just be honest about it. This guy fucking hates me, dude. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my God. Dude, I like started World War III and I didn't even know I was at war. Oh my God. You guys are, a lot of people are treating me like I just killed their firstborn. Like, guys, come on. Yeah, no, they're losing their shit. Stargazer, I'll have you on in a. All right, do you guys want me to go through the 15-minute first, or do you want me to start inviting people on? What do you guys want me to do first? Because I do intend on doing both. It's just a matter of we could go through the video together. Because I feel like once I have a conversation with someone, I'm not going to be able to have the full attention on the video. But maybe I'm underestimating my capabilities as a streamer and an individual. I love Aerith. I literally say in my video essay that I almost cried when she died. And they're like, you fucking, like, guys, please help me out here. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Time to drop those tracks like Drake. Yeah, what's going on with Drake and them? Oh, you didn't start it. What do you mean I didn't start it? I was unengaged. I just like looking at Tifa's tits and posting gameplay and showing my appreciation for the game. And I feel like I just stepped on a mine. And I don't know what the fuck. Like, I didn't, like, dude, I was like doing this as a roundabout way to promote my video, which in turn promotes my channel and my comic book. I think MLW will understand if you do it later. Who's MLW? Is that the guy who did the response to me? Okay. MLW RPG. This guy seems cool.
Came across.
All right. So this guy. Okay. This guy seems cool. All right. I could send him the link too if he wants it. All right. Should I start having people on? Fuck it. Let's get some audience participation. So there are like haters of these characters. Like I even like Kate Sith. Dude. Like, I don't hate any of these characters. I don't even hate if people like. I have friends that are like, dude. I have friends that like Zack Snyder movies, and Zack Snyder movies gave me depression. Zack Snyder DC movies. I can tolerate different opinions. Oh my god! All right, there we go. Sorry, Stargazer. Okay. All right, I got you. So, would you rather me send this to you on Twitter, or would you rather send me this to you on Discord? The link. Oh, look at that. We got. There's always bots that are like girls interested in fake girls interested in me, fake gamer girls. Dude, I love my silly kitty on a Moogled war crimes and espionage. I don't hate any of the. Neither do I. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's someone I do hate in Final Fantasy. I love all the characters. No, all right. So in Rebirth, there's a few characters in the Rebirth. I hate Chadley. I fucking hate Chadley. He's so fucking annoying. I hate him. And then the worst character design of all time. Like, I wanted to kill this character, Kid G. I was like, is this guy from a different game? And I looked him up, and he's not. I fucking hate Kid G. I hope I never have to see his rat face again. What a bastard. Like, that was a character design that like actually was vomit inducing. Holy shit. All right, I'm sending you this. There you go. Also, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're coming on. There is Twitter is, by the way, I'm not calling it fucking X. X is a stupid name. Not for any ideological reason. I just think it's a bad name. Like, I like Elon, but like, holy shit, dude. Like, that's a stupid fucking name. It's a really stupid fucking name. Make sure you retweet the live stream if you're coming on. Everyone retweet this live stream. We got over 100 people on Twitter, man. This is nuts. All right, hang on. I'll send this guy a DM too. This is insanity. This whole dude, I think there was like an online like war going on with personality conflicts and shit. And I think I just made a tweet promoting my video unaware, and they just assumed shit about me. And I'm like, bro, I'm just vibing. That's what I think. That's my prediction. I guess we're gonna find out. Did I send her the right link? I did. Okay. That's what I think happened. And Stygian, if you want the link too, you can come in. Let's see. I'm gonna play. I sent that guy. Oh shit! Where's his tweet toward me? Hold on. Let me give me a second. He made this tweet. I want to have it on. I'm gonna have it in its own tab so I don't keep. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. I keep seeing them in these fancy outfits that were not in the original game, so I know that's a spoiler. So I got to figure out what the fuck that's about. The characters, that is, in there. All right, hold on. What is happening, Blevins? It's crazy. It is crazy. Here, okay, cool. I'm gonna play an intro for you. You know what? I'll play one that's thematically appropriate.
Me? Gungaga.
What's going on?
Hell yeah. Love that pair.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Spirits. It's
you can refer to me as Tay. It's going to be a little easier rather than saying the whole username.
All right, sounds good. Oh, do you have a YouTube channel too?
I do not. I'm rather private, actually. I've been in this fandom And in this war for a good 3 or so years now, and I'm just sort of, yes, it's a literal war.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, you're missing some history here. This has honestly been going for a long, long time, and it trades as far as like who are the main perpetrators of what's going on. But some very constant figures that you will find come up are going to be referred to as the TPS or Tifa Protection Squad, and then the DDC or the Doki Doki Cult. I align with neither of them. I'm just kind of chilling over here in my little corner. So the Tifa Protection Squad, you need to be wary of them, and Stijin is one of them. I'm not going to stop you from bringing her on. This is your stream. This is your conversation you wish to have. But that group does tend to utilize mistranslations, doctored footage, and just straight up lies and takes context out of a lot of things. So just be wary. If you want an unbiased source for your information, I'm going to tell you right now, as you're new to the fandom, Shinra Archaeology are your go-to. I know both two members of that group very, very well. They are extremely unbiased. They are doing their best to try to give unbiased information, and they have extremely awesome resources of not just Ultimanias as far as characters and stuff go, but also vehicles, world building, anything you could want to know about FF7, go to Shinra Archaeology.
This is a Twitter account.
Yes.
Do they have a website or as well, or just?
Yes, I do believe they do.
Holy, this is so. I literally just was like, I love Final Fantasy VII. Like, I make a video essay. Yeah, people in my chat. So like, I'm a comic book guy usually, and film and stuff. But I also love video games and Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, hell yeah. I am originally a Kingdom Hearts fan, and I came over into FF7 for remake, so I totally understand the situation that you are in as far as not knowing the history of everything. That was where I was at one point. But yes, there are people on both sides who will lie, who will try to twist shit, and they don't like either of the other. Yep, they don't like either of the other girl. I am of the belief that I like both girls. I just tend to think the story, and also just my own personal preference is Cloud and Aerith. So I'm not going to be a crazy shipper about anything. If you do bring Stijin on, I will do my best to be civil.
Yeah, both of you.
Because
I'll hold you.
I will do my absolute best. I promise you that. Yeah. So, but I just wanted to let you know, one, an unbiased source to go refer to and have a really good repertoire of things to look into, and two, just to sort of establish that this has been going for many years, and it is constantly ongoing, and it's going to be constantly ongoing, possibly until part 3 comes out and puts an end to the whole thing, or for the rest of time. So,
see, and this
just be wary.
This is nuts. This is nuts. So
it truly is.
All right. Because I'm from the same perspective you just the other. I'm of the. It's not even about like, because I don't give a shit about shipping. I really don't. Sure. I just played the game. I love Tifa, but it's also like if I was playing the game and analyzing it, and I felt like, and maybe part of me is biased, but it's like general. Like, let me give an example. Like, I always thought,
yes, absolutely,
an Avatar that like, no, what the fuck are they? Sokka and Ty Lee, I like them, but the writers
they're so cute.
Yeah, but the writers decided that Suki's his girl. So I'm like, okay, Suki's his girl. Like, I don't spend it. I'm like, oh, that would have been nice. I wish they did that. But it's like, that's not the couple. I am more of the belief of the death of the author, and you can make your own stuff if you don't agree with what's going on. And I think that's part of fandom. That's literally where fandom came from, is that women in their like 40s and 50s saw that Spock and Kirk went off screen, and they were like, oh, that's free real estate. And they started writing books to each other, and then they would send it to each other, and then they would have like little conversations about what's going on. They would plan out plots with each other, and it was literally
That's how fandom started. That is absolutely how fandom started.
Because I know that's
So
where
it's-
Mary Sue comes from, is because it was
Well,
shitty
yeah.
fan fiction, right?
Yep, it's from fan fiction, yes, but fandom in general did not become the juggernaut that it is without that being established at the start. Fandom was built on saying, honestly, the canon is cool, love the canon, that's cool, but I'm also going to just do my own thing over here.
Okay.
So that is the philosophy that I live by, is that
Gotcha.
if you don't like what's going on in the canon, you can make your own content. As long as you're not being a dick to the people who actually made the thing you like, then you're cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's it. I made a thing they didn't like, apparently. 46
Yeah,
seconds.
so
They're
and
like,
that's
"Oh,
the
why
thing.
didn't you address this?" I'm like, "Because it's 46
So
seconds."
I do just want to kind of give you a little bit of a heads up as far as I saw you saying, like, you know, what's the problem with Tifa and the hero thing? The problem is that Cloud, so when he's acting like Zack, like, you know, what with all of that, he's also doing so because in the train station, and this is not explained very well in the original FF7, this is explained better in later supplemental materials. First of all, I just want to say, when it comes to the Ultimanias and stuff, I do not live, die, and breathe by the Ultimanias as far as my enjoyment of the series. I adore the series as it is. I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan. I'm used to being confused. I'm used to not knowing what's going on. I have a blast with it. But the Ultimanias do fill in those holes that are present if you want them to. So in this case, I'm simply going to fill in a bit of a hole for you. In that when Cloud saw Tifa at the train station, when he woke up a bit out of his coma, in that moment, that flash was Genova scanning Tifa. Yes. It wasn't just Genova scanning Cloud's mind of Tifa, it was also scanning Tifa's mind of Cloud.
I didn't know that it could scan.
Oh, yeah,
I did know that. They do explain that, actually.
So the whole soldier persona that he puts on of being this heroic figure is not the real Cloud Stripe.
I know
He's basically Tifa's childhood fantasy, her teenage dream, if you will. And so the problem therein lies.
But it also
the problem therein lies with the people who are fans of Cloud, just Cloud in general, and of Aerith as far as how she breaks that persona down a little bit, is that Cloud is acting like someone he's not most of the time when it comes to Tifa until the live stream scene. So when people are bringing up the whole hero thing, it's also a bit of Tifa projecting what should have just been a cute little innocent childhood promise onto this person that she hasn't known for a long time.
Gotcha.
And so, it's just how people read
but
things.
It's also Cloud projecting who he wanted to be onto him. Because, like, for example, like the way I read it is that too. But the way I read it was that it was Cloud wants to be. In my video,
it's a bit of both. It's a little bit of both. But the biggest thing is that the soldier persona likely would not have existed had Tifa not been so focused on that aspect of like what she wanted Cloud to be.
You think so? Because I also think when he screams over at the cliffside, he looks like, even the way he's even though it's just shitty graphics, like it seems to me like Cloud is mentally broken, and the way they fix him is by him becoming Zack and overcoming that trauma. That's how I viewed it.
Becoming Zack is kind of an interesting way to put it. The whole thing is that, and this again, Ultimania fills in the holes if we wanted to. We can ignore it if we don't. Ultimania does confirm that it is not necessarily Zack's memories, but rather stories that Zack was telling Cloud as he was lugging him around for the year that he was in a coma.
That's interesting.
Yes. So it's not direct memories. Otherwise, he would have known who Aerith was, for example. Right?
Because Yep. Because that was an inconsistency. Because I thought it was weird, because every time Cloud sees something, in the game, he has a flash. But the weird thing is, he doesn't have that when he sees Aerith, and he doesn't have that when he hears about Zack.
Or when he sees Stone.
Remake changes that though. Remake, he does have one when he hears about Zack.
He does, but it's more along the case of he's not remembering correctly, or he is remembering, but it's still not fully there. Genova is interfering. He's not getting the big picture of what's going on. So,
So I had the original writers of FF7 weigh in on. That's the thing. It's like an entire
yes.
team. Like
Do you want to know if they weighed in on the actual who is the canon love interest or anything? Because the answer is no. But if you want,
I don't even think they agree with each other. If I'm being honest,
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I think they're definitely.
Zack was a last minute addition to the game. I learned recently that he was like
Yes, he was. So originally, do you know what the original story was? Before they added Zack?
How many versions of original?
There's a couple, but this is the one that lasted the most through development. It was originally said that her first love that they were going to talk about was actually going to be Sephiroth. And that Cloud knew Sephiroth and knew the monster that Sephiroth was and wouldn't ever really tell her about it because he knew, So
where did you hear that? Because I heard that Cloud and Aerith, or that another. That's interesting. Okay, because
I think Dismantled is the book that you want to read for that information. I think Dismantled is the one that goes the most into, but also just from interacting with people who are very knowledgeable about the series and about the various texts over the years. Shinra Arc is huge. Learned so much from them. The other person I learned the most from was Kisa Stars, which I'll send you her at sometime, but she is actually proficient in Japanese. Any sort of translations I need done, I send to her because she also tries to be the most unbiased as possible. So, but yes, there's also Angela, who I recently had on one of my spaces that I host. Usually not every Friday, but mostly on Fridays. I tend to host a bit of a space to discuss theorizing and details and Easter eggs and that sort of thing. And I was absolutely blessed to have someone named Angela come on and educate the heck out of me as far as the development to Final Fantasy VII and also how it's perceived in Japan. So, but yes, just interacting with people, just trying to learn, just being interested in that sort of thing has just taught me a lot. So, and I've learned very quickly, you want to stay away from the people like Stitch and Sis and also Silverweald, because those are the people twisting information. So,
Well, listen, she's been nothing but nice to me. There's
sure.
No war as far as
again, this is your space. I'm not going to stop you from bringing her on, and I will do my absolute best to be civil.
Yeah, well, all right, cool. So, okay, hold on. This is a lot. So, all right. Okay, so my whole thing, right? So it's Tifa's childhood memory because okay, so the Ultimedia is that, right? But I have, for example, Hyrule Historia. Now, I'm not sure how much better Square Enix is, but Hyrule Historia, they've already changed shit multiple times. And I just can't help but think that the fucking developers didn't know all the details when they released the game. I think it's a masterpiece.
So, okay.
But there is no.
Do you want to know why there is a lot of focus on Tifa in Disc 3? Because there's a story behind it that I didn't even know.
Let's hear it.
So, okay. So Kazushige Nojima was the main writer for most of Final Fantasy VII. It was him, it was Motomo Toriyama, and even Sakaguchi, who is known as the godfather of Final Fantasy, would pitch in and help out. So, and Nomura was more of just a character designer, but they also would ask his opinion on things, obviously. So, at the time, Kazushige Nojima went and was trying to develop his own title at the time. It was known as Bahamut Lagoon. These are the sorts of quote-unquote Final Fantasy games and sorts of things that we in the West are not privy to. I did not know this. So at the time he was developing Bahamut Lagoon, he wasn't around a lot to help out with Final Fantasy VII. He was very busy. So what they did is they got a guest writer for the third disc. And this guest writer is known as Masato Kato, who you might know better as the writer of the Xenogears saga.
I've never heard of Xenogears.
So
What's Xenogears?
Xenogears is just another JRPG. So Masato Kato, who I also believe was a writer in Chrono Trigger, if I remember correctly, he's worked on other games. So he was brought in as a guest writer and was not really given the brief that everybody else was. He wasn't there for the whole development process, obviously. So he was given a basic brief on things and told, just go to work, because the development of FF7 was definitely a miracle game development. I did not know how this game got made when I heard some of the stories about the development. It's wild. So Masato Kato was brought in, and he took a look at the script so far, and he saw that Aerith died and that there was only one girl left. And so his thought process was, oh, well, obviously this one's the love interest, right? So he wrote part 3, a lot of the disc 3 story.
Disc 2 is when they really fall for it.
Or disc 2. I apologize. We have part 3 and then we have disc 2. It's getting a little confusing.
Wait, what?
So part 3 of the remake trilogy and then disc 2 of yes. So I get the numbers confused sometimes. I promise I don't do it out of malice intent or anything. So we have disc 2, which focuses a lot on Tifa, because Masato Kato was brought in and realized, oh, well, she's the only one alive, so obviously she's the love interest, right? So, Masato Kato wrote Tifa as though she is the love interest, and in fact, there is a deleted scene from Final Fantasy VII in which Kitase put his foot down and said, absolutely not. And that is that a lot of people tend to think of the Highwind scene, the high affection Highwind scene, by the way, as something of them, and you will find this with Stygian and friends, is that they had sex under the Highwind scene.
They did. They absolutely
did not.
They
did not. And I can tell you why. Masato Kato wrote a scene in which it is very, very much explicitly implied that the two had sex in a chocobo stable aboard the Highwind. And Kitase shot this down almost immediately.
Well, that was...
He said, absolutely not. He said, absolutely not. We will not be putting that in this game. Nojima was then brought back on board because he finished Bahamut Lagoon, or at least his side of things, his work on it. And they said, hey, so Kato wrote this scene that we absolutely cannot use. What you got, buddy? And so Nojima took a look at the scene, and he decided he liked the sound of the phrase, words aren't the only way to tell someone how you feel. And he was like, okay, I think I can work with that. So Nojima is the one responsible for writing the scene of the high affection Highwind scene. And it was done after Kitase absolutely shot down Kato, implying that they had sex.
Yeah, sir, I do want to bring in our YouTube Play Nice. I'm going to bring her in and then continue the conversation.
Absolutely.
Hold on a second. I was just responding. One of my artists sent me something. I was just giving some quick.
Yeah,
feedback.
Absolutely. Dude, do your thing.
Me? Gungaga.
Okay, so real quick, how you doing, Stygian?
Hey, how's everyone?
Good. So I had a question. All right, so hold on, Stargazer, because I have a question. So
Absolutely.
You think they didn't fuck, all right, or sex, or whatever you want to say, nicer way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so they have, it goes to black, all right? Then she gets up and has an embarrassed, shy reaction when they go, were you watching? What were they doing that they were embarrassed of? If
Public displays of affection are very taboo in Japan. Public displays of affection are very, very, very taboo in Japan.
Yeah, but like one example could be sex.
One example could also be just laying on somebody's shoulder and snuggling up.
Could be. Could be.
It's very much implied that the two slept overnight in each other's arms, and that Tifa was embarrassed because public displays of affection are very, very taboo in Japan.
Okay, but like, hang on.
And if you think about it, Tifa's a rather reserved character. She goes by the social norm, whereas Aerith is much more.
To her knees.
She doesn't, though.
What? Yeah, she does. Hang on.
No, she sort of just stomps her feet.
No, she actually does drop to her knees.
She drops to her knees.
I promise you, she does. It's after this. She says, "Where are you watching?" She runs to the window, and then she drops her knees and starts shaking her head, and then Cloud is like scratching his head.
Yeah, I have the footage. Let me pull out the footage. But that is.
Yes, please do.
All right, hold on. God damn it! This video is so fucked. This video took so goddamn long. I spent like. All right, here we go. There we go. Ready? Down to her knees. Fully on the ground. Oh, she just leave? Oh, she came. All right. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And let me switch the order back. Did you see that? Did you see that? Do I need to play it back? I'll play it back.
Yes, please play it back.
You were watching? Okay. And then
she doesn't.
That's totally down on her knees.
She's devastated because she knows that they witnessed their very public displays of affection.
But what were
I
those
think
public
that's very fair.
The devil is in the details.
Literally sleeping overnight on a guy's shoulder, cuddled up in his arms.
But what's the hang on? But how do we know that's all they did? Because they fade to black.
Because the scene implying that they actually had sex was removed and was said. Kitase put his foot down and said, "Absolutely not. We will not be including that."
Well, hold on. We don't know the level because it could be the level of which. Like, for example, there are things in media. If you go back and watch movies from the 50s or whatever, they had an explicit rule, right, about like you couldn't be too explicit with sex. So what they would do is they do tricks around it.
I can tell you, my friend, I'm going to refer to her as Winnie because I don't really want to give her full name here. So my friend Winnie and I are actually on a marathon of Final Fantasy. So we have done Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, took a little detour for Strangers of Paradise, and then 4 interlude for the after years. And we are most of the way through 5 at this point. So, and this has been ongoing since October last year. So I can tell you that earlier Final Fantasy games are far more in line with what Kato wanted to include in Final Fantasy VII as far as implying characters having relations.
I'm sorry, but I can't, like, I watched that scene and it was before, there was no, it was just watching that scene. I think it's very apparent that there was at least some affection. Like,
there is some affection. Absolutely. There is absolutely some affection in that scene.
Romantic. I'm not talking just friends.
May I step in since we're talking about this? I think the point, what happens under the high wind, yes, of course, most people walk away knowing that something happened.
Yeah, whether they had sex.
But regardless of, because the way that I read what Nojima said is that they decided to tone down what was shown in the game. Basically what you just described, Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're losing the forest for the trees here, though. The point is, this is the night before the final battle.
Yeah.
They clearly, whether you get the low affection or high affection, and I will say, I've even compiled a list. The low affection scene is almost never referenced to this day, literally today. I just saw where they referenced the high affection scene again in World War Divisions. They use Tifa's line from the high affection all of the time. It's still on their Giphy. It is constantly being used. Theatrhythm, I mean, literally in 2024, it's still being referenced. So the low affection is almost never referenced because honestly, you really have to go out of your way to get the low affection scene. I mean, you really just got to be a dick to Tifa to get it.
I got the high affection,
and even then, and even then, excuse me, sorry, and even then, the fact is, outside of the conversation being cut a little bit short, they still spend all night together. And I think it's very important to understand where they're spending the night together. They are in Midgar Wasteland, which you can almost certainly see Eris Church in the distance. That's how close they are.
Oh, now, really?
Absolutely. Yes. I sent you in that thread that I sent you.
Okay.
It mentions being in Midgar Wasteland. Now, that is a really curious place to put these two to be spending together all night, whether they're playing canasta, whatever they're doing. That is an odd location to put them spending all night in. And he doesn't have a single thought about Aerith or anything, even though, again, Midgar is one big reminder of where he met her. But I digress. The point is, clearly something romantic in nature happened that night. Whether you know, because I don't think Stargazer is incorrect. Obviously, the way the West and the East view intimacy has some differences, you know. But the point is, Tifa's falling out because something clearly romantic happened under that high wind, no matter which version you get. And so the reason that, to go back to what this all is blown up about, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that literally the night before, when they have this romantic interaction, Cloud is suddenly confessing to Tifa while she's in his arms or whatever, that, hey, I actually want to go meet my dead lover in the afterlife. That doesn't make a whole lot
I don't
of
buy
sense.
that.
I will simply say, no, he does not speak about Aerith, and that is 100% true. There is no talk about her in the High Wind, and I'm not implying that there is in any way, shape, or form. A simple point that I would like to bring up, as far as not often referencing the low affection, I agree. But we can also say that the Aerith date is almost very explicitly referenced, as far as references to the Gold Saucer date. Yeah. So I think it's fair to say that Aerith is constantly mentioned, or Aerith is constantly referenced as far as the Gold Saucer date, and High Affection Tifa is referenced as far as the High Wind event. I think that's very fair, and we can both agree that.
Well, that's how I always viewed it.
I'm not sure what that matters, though. I mean,
I'm just establishing as far as.
Yeah, we're establishing. So
you bringing up the point that the High Affection High Wind is the most referenced. I agree, and at the same time, as far as the Gold Saucer date, Aerith is the most highly referenced Gold Saucer date. Almost explicitly, it is her date that is referenced. So, in that regard, they are equal. They each have an event that is the highest affection for them, that is the most referenced. So, I just want to establish that.
Yes, but Tifa and Aerith's dates are not the same thing. We're talking about the same scene between the two same people. One where the conversation is cut off, one where it's not, essentially, and everything else is the same. Tifa and Aerith's date, how you get to it and what happens in both of them.
There is a slight point in that in the original FF7, the affection points stop counting when the Gold Saucer is reached. And the High Wind scene is determined when the Gold Saucer date is reached.
Yes. Well, that's not entirely true, because you can get Aerith's date, but also get the High Affection High Wind scene.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I got Aerith's date.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. That's just
I see. I'm sorry. I apologize. I misunderstood you.
So I'm simply establishing that points values. There is a scene where she is the highest, and there is a scene where Tifa is the highest. And yes, it is absolutely possible to obtain both.
I think I did. I had that much Riz on my playthrough.
Okay. Good for you, man. Good for you, man.
But my whole mentality is, I think it makes sense. Even just, all right, remove all the shipping shit, right? From a logical, if I'm writing, because I'm a writer, right? So if I'm writing it, and even when I was playing it, because I knew, believe it or not, everyone knows Aerith dies, right? The way I found out about Final Fantasy VII was like a Watch Mojo top 10 video game death. That's how I found out about it. So everyone knew that. So I knew she was going to die, but I was like, yeah, if I was a writer, I would make the date with her beforehand to maximize the impact and spend more time with her. So I think that, because some people were making that point, and I'm not lumping anyone together. Everyone's an individual, but people were making the point that she starts off with a higher affection level. My point is, even if I wanted him to end up with Tifa, at least as a writer, because I'd put the story first, I'd give the one who's going to die a higher affection level, because you want to get attached to her first. So that's why I think that that's just basic storytelling to me. is.
I agree. And the thing is, it's about getting the player attached.
Yes.
And I think this is where a lot of the disagreements come in, is because, for instance, I think, well, now, Vaughn, I don't know, how far have you gotten in the Reaper? Do you know about the moment?
Vaughn is just about to go into Nibelheim.
No.
Okay.
So, all right, we will table that discussion for another time.
Sure,
I'm shocked you don't know, considering you follow me. I post it every day. But
I don't know how. But now I'm gonna have to. Might have to mute you.
yeah. Mute me for sure. I will say this without getting explicit. I think because Stargazer did bring up some things that. Is that how you refer to Stargazer?
You can refer to me as that, yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Bringing up the history of how the game was, how the story has evolved between when it was first conceived and what it ultimately became. For one, there's not a story in history that looks the exact same in a first draft as the final product.
No, absolutely.
So, while that is interesting, and she seems to be, I can talk directly to because I know a lot of history she's discussing. And while it's certainly interesting for people like us, Stargazer, who are just, super knee deep into the lore stuff, ultimately, I find a lot of the information irrelevant, especially when they're remaking the game and it's still going the same trajectory. It'd be one thing, for instance, one big question a lot of people had was, will Aerith live? Will she die in this game?
Oh boy. Okay.
Will Zack live? Will she? No, what I'm saying is that
for Vaughn's case, we need to shelve that idea because that does hint towards the ending of Rebirth, and I feel like it is not fair to.
I'm not giving anything away.
It is not fair to sort of imply anything or try to talk about the ending of Rebirth, because I think it is fair for Vaughn to experience that as blind as possible.
I agree.
First of all, my biggest complaint with this game, because I was like, I kept saying from the beginning, I did too many side quests, might as well commit to it because I like the gameplay. All right, for the next one, can we please cut out the stupid fucking mini games? Every goddamn time.
I pray so. I just want them to go through the events of this too.
Literally, and then
elaborate on them.
Sid was so disappointing. He comes in, he's like super, and like Sid will happily fly you anywhere. Like, no, he fucking wouldn't. He'd be like, you piece of shit. Because he shows up and he's like happy. He's like, I'm happy to meet your acquaintance. That's not Sid. Sid be like, what do you want?
I think what they're going to do is show how starkly different he acts with Shira. I think that's kind of the angle they're going with. They're doing a lot of again, it's kind of hard to explain. Let's just let's
just go ahead and shelve Rebirth. Let's try to.
Okay, well, let's have you.
We'll table this.
Do you know about the compilation in general? Forget Rebirth.
Yes. I have played Crisis Core. It was not meant to be played on PC, and I could tell. Let's focus on the original release. Yeah, exactly. And playing that with a mouse and keyboard was challenging. But I did it, and then as soon as I fucking finished the game, they announced the new one. I was like, "Fuck you." So anyway, I haven't played the new one. Did they change Crisis Core? First of all, the title of the new one is insanely long. What is it?
It's Crisis Core. It's Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion.
Oh my god!
I think technically it's even called Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, which is even more. Why did they do that?
I know. But so the compilation, when we're talking about, what do you want to talk? Because I guess this all started with that line at the end of OG about I want to meet Aerith there, and that's what you got all that shit for. Is that
which I think it's because apparently there has been a war going. I literally just was like, I like this game, let me talk about it, and then I posted a clip. And now, to be fair, I will fully admit that I was partially baiting because I wanted to get them engagement.
Sure,
but what I find funny was that why did it blow up 2 weeks later? Because I was like, that was a rather mundane reaction.
Because the FF7 fandom, as far as the general fandom, is really only active when it comes to game releases and stuff. But the shipping fandom is forever. They are always active.
Yep. And it gets heated. It's ramped up certainly because of reasons. So you have clouders who are like clouties who
oh, okay.
Yeah, let's just say we're quite through right now.
It's going to be very heated until part 3. Hopefully, answer some questions. Until it answers some questions, and I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah. But I will say in general, what I've noticed with the compilation, and so when we're discussing shipping, the compilation is simply correcting and adding to things that were already existed in the original game. So when I look at a game like Crisis Core,
well, they
have
changed some things though,
which they have really incorporated into this remake.
I noticed that.
Sephiroth was not wrong. Zack, the concept of Zack was there because Stargazer mentioned that Sephiroth was supposed to be her original love. I think at one point they might even supposed to be siblings. Like it was all over the place.
It was the same story actually. It was oddly the same story. Yes, Ifalna was supposed to give birth to both Aerith and Sephiroth. Yes, it was supposed to be the same story.
Yeah,
yep.
So
we're like Luke and Leia.
Japan.
Yeah, but the concept of someone reminding Aerith of her first love, that was always there. It is just that Zack, the character, was created by Nomura and came in late into the story. But
of course, the complicated shit's fucking Nomura.
It was sort of Nomura, but it was also Nojima's brainchild. Nojima did the writing, Nomura did the drawing. Nojima literally had the script ready, and he handed it to Nomura and went, "Nomura, draw me something."
Look, I haven't played Kingdom Hearts.
This game is almost done.
But I'm sorry. I'm making a larger point. So instead of like what they could have done is, leave Zack in the dustbins of history. He had almost no role. I mean, his presence is felt because once you realize what's going on with Cloud, you're then like, oh, okay, I see it now. But the character himself, yes, has very few anything in there. Now, if I'm trying to keep this game ambiguous or I'm trying to go one ship versus another, what I'm not going to do is then take Zack's character, greatly expand on him, show how him and Aerith fell in love, show moments of Cloud pining over Tifa. You see what I'm saying? Like what they're doing, I don't think they're like all they're doing is just expanding on the same story. So when I look at Remake, and again, I'm not going to mention Rebirth, when I look at Remake, for they're making a lot of changes. I mean, sorry, they're expanding on the story. They're
making a lot of changes, though. They are.
Yeah, but the fundamentals have not changed. And again, it's hard to get into without.
All right, I haven't played that, but I think in Remake they changed, not in regards to the relationships, but like, okay, let me give an example. One of my theses I came to when I was doing my video essay, and I think that they fundamentally went against this in Remake. I haven't finished Rebirth barely, but I think one of the fundamental, like, totally goes against the meaning of the original game that I don't like is Remake is about defying destiny. But if you look at the original game, it's about, in my opinion, very strongly that there is a natural order to things, and when you go against it, you get screwed. Like, because if you look at the original game, right, the main antagonists are all, what are their goals? Shinra, Sephiroth, and Genova are all disrupting the natural order of the planet in some way, shape, or form. Whenever Cloud goes against what his natural life is, he fails, and only by accepting who he is, the natural order, is he able to succeed. Same with Tifa. I firmly believe that it's about accepting the natural order and the will of the planet. But you said you were going to disagree with that?
And I think Remake and Rebirth are not showing anything different, in my opinion, as far as defying destiny. I've always said that it's a Final Destination slash butterfly effect slash some weird stuff going on where basically they're dangling this in front of you. And I said this about Avalanche. I said I think Avalanche is going to be a microcosm of what we're ultimately going to get. You have people who are supposedly going to defy their destinies, and then it turns out not to be the case. So again, I suppose we'll see in part 3.
Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah.
Yes, if I may. Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, without going into the details. The storytelling in both is going to be far closer to that of a classic Final Fantasy. And that is because Kazushige Nojima very much idolizes Sakaguchi, and his writing style is very similar to how Sakaguchi would write the classic Final Fantasy stories. And in the classic Final Fantasy stories, there's never really a sense of, oh, well, this is just the natural order of things. This is just how things go. There is always a moment of breaking shit to the point where it seems like it's going to be unfixable, and in some regards sort of is. None of the Final Fantasy games that we have experienced so far, and I have given the list of how many that we have experienced so far, ever have the world just completely return to what it was before. There is very obvious change, and there is very obvious adjustments that need to be made. There is healing that needs to be done. Final Fantasy has never really been a story of, well, that's just how it is. And I would argue even the original 7 has never really been a story of that's just how it is. Because if it were, then the message of Cloud finding himself and then also finding the strength and the desire to protect the planet goes completely against it. Because if we are supposed to completely return to the Cloud who left Nibelheim, then he would have stopped caring, because he was very, very withdrawn. He felt like he wasn't cared about. He felt like he was better than everyone as far as having this ego about him that he was using to protect himself. So the message as far as Cloud having his memories fixed, realizing who he is, but still caring that much about the planet and about people who, some of them have even treated him kind of crap throughout their journey. And yet he cares. He cares.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I agree.
And
with
this is a huge development as far as it's not just the message of, well, that's just how things are. Because Cloud, as a character, sure. But Remake is being far more written like a classic Final Fantasy. And with that, you're going to have things seem like they are going to be broken beyond belief, and hope is going to be lost. So, and I think with the Remake, without going into Rebirth, that moment was when we're on the expressway and Sephiroth is facing off against us, and he's got your first 2 party members pinned. Mm-hmm. And then Cloud gets taken to Edge of Creation, and it seems like, oh god, what is happening? So I can't get into Rebirth, so I won't. But just know that a lot of the writing that I am noticing in the Remake trilogy is that of a classic Final Fantasy, which makes sense because Nojima very much idolizes Sakaguchi and his writing style and the tropes and stuff he tends to use. So, and I kind of just want to say that with regards to that, there are certain, we in the West perceive Advent Children as the definitive absolute sequel to Final Fantasy
I don't.
VII.
I think it sucks.
Well, we in the West tend to have that perception of it, though.
Well, real quick,
And
I did a video talking about it, but do you guys
Sure.
actually think it's well written? Like,
well, that's two different things. I think the point was, let's make an action movie. I mean, I think that like SE, and this was around the time that
I can actually provide a little bit of context as to why Advent Children is the way it is. So,
well, I'm sorry. Can we finish the first point though, and then because I wanted to say something on that, and then we can.
Well, this sort of ties into that.
Yeah.
This does sort of tie into that. So, I was recently visited by somebody in one of my spaces that I host who talked with me about how Japan and how your typical everyday Japanese individual views the compilation of Final Fantasy VII. And that is that every entry in the compilation of Final Fantasy VII, which does not have the involvement of as much of the original team as possible on it, is considered something called Gaiden. And Gaiden is not necessarily, this is the absolute sequel to the thing that you love. It's more of, this is the interpretation of somebody, one individual or like one or two who worked on the thing that you love. This is how they would see it going forward. And Advent Children, Crisis Core, and even Dirge of Cerberus are all considered gaiden to the general Japanese fandom. So we in the West tend to think of Advent Children, Crisis Core, etc. as the absolute definitive sequel, prequel, and then what happens after the sequel of Final Fantasy VII. When in reality, it's more of, these are the visions of little fractured pieces of the original development team. What we are seeing in Remake is way closer to what would be considered a sequel to Final Fantasy VII, because there are so many hands on board that worked on the original.
I didn't know that there were that many on board, but I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. And the only counter argument I would have for that is, if they weren't still making content around these sequels, I mean, we not only have, so for instance, in the Ultimanias and the World Preview books, they're putting these events chronologically for the player. Now, it's just it would be a little misleading, to say the least, to keep bringing.
They are trying now to sort of.
Wait, hold on.
Sorry, real quick.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to interrupt.
You're fine. Re-releasing the movie. Now they're making these expansions. They're adding. They're doing Ever Crisis, where they're going through these different things, and then going through these different parts of the compilation, and then the devs are saying, we'll possibly make Dirge of Cerberus again, but it'll be after the compilation if we do. All of this leads to Advent Children. I'm not negating what you're saying, but what they're doing is still adding to
I cannot answer as far as what I think they're doing without spoiling elements of Rebirth, and so I won't.
All right. I got to finish this game. We'll have to talk again. The mini games. No many times.
It's going to be very, very hard to have this conversation, but let me just end on this. So far, I've seen nothing that, and by the way, I agree with both of you sort of on what I understood what he was saying, but I also certainly agree with you a lot of this about defying destiny. However, I think what they mean by defying destiny in Final Fantasy VII isn't quite what people understand it to be, because as you just stated, Stargazer, they were talking about defying destiny in that game as well, and certain things still happened, and yet destiny was still defied. So I don't think destiny is tied to one person or one event or one, so I think people are getting too caught up in the nitty gritty as to.
I'm literally struggling not to talk about Rebirth.
Yeah,
shut up.
Let's just talk about Rebirth.
I do have a question. How many more of the?
So I'm just saying they are defying destiny. It just may
the
not
one
be the
thing
destiny.
I will say that does not. The one thing I will say that does not spoil Rebirth or does not spoil anything that we know. It's a tiny little quote from the Ultimania, but it has nothing to do with the actual plot or anything. It is simply Nojima stating what texts he researched for the story of Rebirth, Remake, and Part 3 that is coming up. And he says something along the lines of, if one researched these texts, they may even be able to grasp where the story is headed. And I will simply say that researching those texts has definitely established a thought process in my head of where I think things are heading that I won't get into because there are Rebirth spoilers. But
and I will say that
they
have not changed.
Subscribe to get that, and I'll be playing more of Rebirth on stream. I've been playing it on stream, and it's been fun. First of all, I do have a question. How many more goddamn open world sections are there after Cosmo Canyon?
Nibelheim, I think, is the last.
Nibelheim is a
it's a minor area So there's a part where the world opens up to you to do stuff.
That's all you can say without spoiling.
And then you are train rated to the end, my friend.
Yeah, get everything you want to. Let me put it this way: everything you want to get done in this game, if you're trying to do it in your first playthrough, the beginning of chapter 13 is your last chance.
Correct.
It all goes to hell after that. So
well, I've been doing everything. I've been doing everything. Even the fucking Queen's blood.
Well, and I will say this:
there's great lore in that.
Yeah, I love
great
Queen's
lore.
blood.
Well, because the lore I'm sure is fine, but do I have how many? All right, do you know how many mini games like? There's too many fucking. All right, so by
yes, there are.
Queen's blood. Then I just did the robot. First of all, I hate Shadley. Like I want to. If I could get through and at the end of the game physically strangled Shadley to death, it would be a 10 out of 10 game. He's so annoying. Like there would be times he'd be like, Cloud, I can't help but notice. Like I'm doing a side quest for me, big. I can't help but notice that you didn't. I'm like, I'm doing it.
But
I hate. Like I genuinely like. He's more annoying than like Navi and Ocarina of Time. He's more annoying than. Like he is one of the most annoying video game characters I've ever had the displeasure of dealing with. I hate him so much.
I definitely.
If they try and give me a sympathetic backstory for him, I'm gonna laugh.
Well, I think they go that route, but I also think that I don't know. I just feel like he's gonna turn evil by the end of all this. That's just how I feel about it.
Well, then if I get to strangle him,
but I will say this because I want to make this point. Yes, there's a lot of crazy details being thrown into stuff. Nobody's arguing that it's a 1-to-1 with OG, but I will say the fundamentals.
They seem to be the same.
The fundamentals, specifically his relationships with each character, are not changing. They're just deepening. That's the only one. So I'm just gonna say, because OG, Tifa saving Cloud is going to happen. Cloud, doing his confessions about why he decided to join Soldier and all this other stuff, and they're going to do is deepen that, because as you see already, what you played in Rebirth, that's all they've been doing. They've layered onto the promise over and over. They've layered onto he wrote a whole book, half of which of it is about Tifa's childhood, a lot of it having to do with her relationship with Cloud. Like a week before Rebirth came out. Let me read this.
Yes, I would like to establish that Traces of Two Paths is told from the perspective of Tifa telling her story to Aerith, and I think it's Red 13.
Yes, it is Tifa's perspective.
Is that the book where it's the two girls?
The book is
yes.
So yes, the book is told from the perspective of Tifa before the live stream scene event happens, and Aerith before
before she's like it's like before, it's right before she meets Zach is how I understood it. So it's like from age 7 to like age 15, 16.
Right. Yeah. So the story is told from the perspective, like when Aerith is speaking, I think it's right. They're on the ship. They're on the cargo ship. Mm-hmm. And then with Tifa, it is just in the grasslands. So if you want to know, like, when they're talking to each other about this stuff, those are the times that they're doing it.
Yes, it's between the grasslands and the Junon ship. So you said you did Queen's Blood, so you played through the Junon ship. When Tifa and Aerith are whispering to each other, they're talking about boys. It's because I won't get into it, but point is, a week before Rebirth came out, 2000 Guild to Become a Hero came out, and this is from Cloud's perspective, and I think it's important to understand this, because when we're talking about the character dynamics, this is what I mean. Nothing's fundamentally changing, they're just deepening. So this paragraph is from Cloud's perspective. He would do whatever it took to become a soldier. If there was a path, he would try to walk down it. If there was a door, he would try to open it, because didn't he promise Tifa of his own free will, he had decided to become an exceptional man, to become a soldier, a hero, and a special existence to Tifa. Now, so when we talk about, like, when I say OG this too, they're just cleaning up stuff. They're just elaborating more because there were some messy translations and things like that. And because there were, like during development, there was a lot of confusion. You had people who were working on scenes that didn't even know what happened in certain scenes later. So I mean, there was some messiness. But my point is, Dojima, who is the main writer of this trilogy, why would he write this? And the outcome end up any like this is basically what he tells Tifa in the live stream, saying, I did all of this for you. And if we agree that is still the case,
then he loves her.
There's nothing to argue here. For me. So I understand.
I will civilly agree to disagree with some of the leaps in logic here, but I will civilly agree to disagree.
All right, yeah. That's fine.
I just here's my whole thing. This is my question, because if you think Aerith is the true love, but he said, my whole thing is, because I don't think you were making this argument, Stargazer, but someone was trying to affirm for me, and very, very civilly. By the way, I want us to give a shout out to this person. Very civil disagreement. Hang on, I gotta remember the person's name. Shit, that would probably be helpful. But basically, they were like, "Oh, Cloud and Tifa don't have. He's not romantically interested in you." I'm sorry, as a man. There is no fucking way. There is no way.
You killing me.
The way I would like to see it is that, and I think this is very fair to establish, Cloud has romantic feelings for both Tifa and Aerith. Tifa has romantic feelings for Cloud. Aerith has romantic feelings for Cloud.
Yes.
I think that's fair to say that everybody is crushing on everybody. Yes. Okay? Remake,
I fundamentally disagree with that, but I understand your perspective.
Okay.
And I would say Aerith also that. Go ahead.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that we're talking about establishing that Cloud has romantic feelings for both girls, and both girls have romantic feelings towards him.
Yeah, that I agree with.
Yeah, I actually disagree with you on this one, Vaughn, but again, agree to disagree. All I'll say with that is, again,
Cloud, right?
There are several quotes confirming mutual feelings, and in Rebirth there is confirmation. There is no such, in my opinion. I don't think it's a matter of opinion, but again, I digress.
It is in your opinion.
Yeah, we clearly.
It is in your opinion.
I'm just reading what the sources have told me for 27 years as somebody who played this game when it first came out and has been following it the entire time. I'm just saying, I'm just reading straight from these sources. And, I understand that some people find that as me giving misinformation, and yet I can never get anybody to just simply show me the opposite of what I'm saying. Show me where Cloud and Aerith have confirmed mutual feelings like Cloud and Tifa do. Show me where Cloud and Aerith spend the night together. Cloud and Aerith have this, or Cloud and Aerith. I mean, she had 2 weeks. Someone actually, by the way, Vaughn, I don't know if you noticed, someone actually did the count, and it's something like 16 days, because the whole game happens in 43 days.
What?
So something like, yes.
Oh, that actually does make sense.
And that's another reason why I know that this gets under people's skin when I say this, but that's another thing. Cloud, however you feel about why he feels the way he does about Tifa or whatever, their messy childhood, etc. Cloud has clearly been fixated on one girl his entire life.
Yeah.
I just find it very hard to believe that Cloud Strife in 16 days is gonna fall madly in love with another woman and choose her over anybody. I just think that's
a good point.
I just don't see it. I'm not saying that people can't fall in love. I'm sorry, real quick. I'm not saying it can't happen in other scenarios, but for a character like Cloud, who loves so hard and so deep, and one of the things they said about him is he's loyal. I mean, that's the reason he's jumping off mountains at 9 trying to save this girl, and then running to join the army to impress her and killing a war hero just because he's furious that she's, he thinks she's dying or dead. And then 5 years later, his mind is constructing a soldier persona just for the sake of keeping his promise to her. That's a whole lot of effort to be going for one girl. But because look, I'm not knocking Aerith at all. Great girl. She obviously had Zach clearly fell head over heels for her. So I mean, and I love their relationship. So but I just don't see anybody that there's nobody that magical where after 20 of I mean, they grew up next door to each other. They were playing as toddlers, according to Trace to Pass. So almost 20 years worth of having feelings for one person. It's just illogical to me. That it's one thing to have feelings, and I actually don't even mind if people think that Cloud has romantic feelings for her. She's beautiful. She's giving him all this attention. I'm sure he's flattered. I'm sure it'd be hard for people not to feel some type of. I mean, I again never confirmed in my opinion, but I don't even care if people believe that. But how he feels for Tifa, how he would feel for anybody. Forget Eric. How he would feel for anybody in 16 days pales in comparison to knowing and fixating on somebody for a lifetime. That's just my personal opinion. No disrespect, Stargazer. I know obviously you're going to disagree, but that's
some disagreement. I would say that most Final Fantasy love interests only know their love interest for a very short time before they decide they have feelings for them.
I agree.
Most, if not all.
I don't disagree, but that's why I put the caveat.
And
I'm talking about Cloud specifically.
I would point out the need to bring up as far as he's known her for 20 years, blah, blah, blah. It's not realistic. This is fiction. It is a fantasy title. And I think it is very fair to point out that it does not have to be realistic if it is good for the story and good for the experience and what the developers want you to feel for Cloud and for Aerith and for the characters in general. So I think it's very fair.
But and by the way, Vaughn, I also was right. And I feel like if the only way you can make something make sense is to say, well, it's fiction, you ought to have done a very poor job of explaining it. Or I think that just sounds like a cop out to me. And I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying, like,
no, I'm in agreement with that. I think
that certainly sounds like a cop out.
I think the term is verisimilitude, where it's like it has to be believable within the story. So it's like it doesn't have, because if we're being technical, you could argue anything is unrealistic, right?
Yeah.
But I just think, like, in terms of, and I guess people have different places where it breaks off logically, but I mean, everything you said is how I felt, that it's okay, they have all this. Now, that being said, if he's that infatuated with her, if we were talking realistic, I don't think he would have fallen for either, but I think he does fall for both because it is a game. So, like, I do think that like he has feelings for both, and that kind of breaks the realism a little bit when you consider that he's basically constructed for Tifa, but I'll allow that. So I think there are levels of breaking logic, but I overall, I really do think that the character arcs, when you analyze them, like, I do stand by my stance, even though I'm listening to other things. I'm learning stuff I didn't know. I do think that their character arcs are absolutely meant for them to end up together. I can't look at the game from a thematic level, from a character level, and not see that as being the end point.
The promise scene alone, you don't make us, because even in OG, it's pretty much the first thing you meet Tifa, and then you see this promise that they had from 7 years ago. Yeah, even now in Rebirth in chapter 2, he remembers the exact dress she was wearing that night. I mean, again, 7 years ago. You don't have that type of infatuation with a person.
Yeah, I don't.
And just disappear. I'm sorry. Now again, because where I actually, believe it or not, have room for people to have like where I really don't mind. If people want to believe that he has some feelings for Eric, like, to me, like, the reason I don't care is because it's irrelevant to me. Did he have feelings for Jesse? Maybe. I don't know, but
I think he did. Well, at least in the remake.
Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't
Jesse
believe he did, but yeah, I don't personally believe he did.
I don't think
to me, it's just irrelevant because, as you said, you see his history with these 3 women, and I'm not saying solely because he knows her the longest. Therefore, I'm saying his specific history with Tifa, all the things he's been doing in Tifa's direction. Like I said, the mountainous and all that. I mean, even running around chasing her cat. She didn't even know that he knew she had a cat. And he's spending all day chasing this cat around to find it for her, but they're too shy to go give it to her, so his mommy has to do it. Like, this is why are they, and that's what I meant by the whole compilation when I mentioned the compilation. Why are they just layering and layering and layering onto their
specific relationship?
If it's leading nowhere, if it's going to be all ambiguous at the end of the day, doesn't make any sense. Well,
that's why I think that they're going too far with the ambiguity angle. And to be fair, if I was on her side, Or if they decided that Aerith and Cloud were canon, I could understand the outrage. But I personally, when they keep saying like the argument is that they don't pick one, I think it's because they're trying to pander to both fan bases. I don't think it's because their original intent was to keep it ambiguous. I'm sorry, I really don't.
Well, I'll see you some quotes that show they most certainly. I like they purposely, in my opinion. I think I agree. The only thing they truly confirm, like there is a level of Cloud and Aerith that I think they're always going to leave ambiguous for this reason.
Yes, that's why I think in Advent Children they were in separate fucking beds. You know how much effort I put in?
Actually, and well, that's a whole other argument. I'll tell you about that later.
Sitcom couple.
But my point is, like I think they're always going to leave a level of ambiguity between Cloud and Aerith because at the end of the day, they don't really need, like, this is what I mean by, I'm sorry, I don't mean to make it so clear it's relevant, but what I'm saying is ultimately to the story, it is because this is just a blip in time. I mean, it's already just 43 days. Then this is literally just, we're talking about Cloud's been alive 21 years. We're talking about 16 days he knew Aerith. It's a blip in time. So
16 days can change a person though.
Yeah, I agree. But when you know that where he came from and where he's going, it's like I think that the devs just like they've never confirmed one way or another how it feels about Jesse. I don't think they're ever going to do it with Cloud and Aerith because they don't need to. But what they are going to do is make it very explicit.
I would disagree heavily with that, and I can't go into Rebirth, but I would disagree heavily with that as far as not making it clear what the feelings were between them. I would disagree extremely heavily with that.
Vaughn, we'll have to do a part two. Yeah, we'll have to do a part two after you.
I have to
after you play Rebirth.
Dude, all right, if they stop or the fucking like the mini games, I'm about to hit 100 hours of this game. First of all, it was because I was really bad at it to start. But I will say, by the way, just like talking good things about Rebirth, I really like the way I barely use Kate Sith in the original. I'd use him out of like pity, honestly. But like, I actually do really like his gameplay. At first, I was confused because, first of all, Kate's character introduction is like, what the fuck is this? But then they made him actually like feel like a party member in this one that isn't. I like that he spawns the Moogle. I love the gameplay.
I do just want to say, huge Catchy fan here. I love my silly little war crime boy. He's so good.
I hated him in OG. I thought he was useless, but I actually like him a lot in Rebirth.
I've loved him since OG. I've loved him since OG. I
think he's funny in Having Children. I think he's funny in Dirt Servers. I like them in Remake. And the same with Yuffie. I didn't care for Yuffie at all.
I love Yuffie.
No, that I agree with. I did not like OG Yuffie, and I don't like Kyrie in Remake because she reminds me of OG Yuffie. So fair enough.
Annoying. She's not as bad as Chadley. Like, I don't want to kill her.
Chadley. Oh goodness. There's a war going on with Chadley, by the way. Because half of people I know are like, oh, I love Chadley. They're like, well, we despise him. I
love Chadley as far as his personality goes, and as far as his character writing. I don't think so. I think he's a cute little addition. He's a cute little fun, like comic reliefy kind of thing. But as far as his involvement in the game, I do think they went too much.
I will say, but one of my favorite parts though was when he sees Cloud in the dress and he's like, "Oh, I'm feeling things."
Yes, exactly. I think he's great to add to the cast as far as being that like Poindextery, like, funny, like silly little nerdy guy. And the depth they do give him in Remake is really cool. But yes, I would agree as far as his implementation into Rebirth. They went too much, and I can understand why people want to strangle the boy.
Just like
and then gave him an evil twin on top.
And then what is she just interrupts him and contributes and he just goes, shut up, and that's it. She never does anything.
He just turns her volume down.
And it's like, what? Why does
those two squabble like siblings like no other? It's great.
But she's barely even there, and whenever she is, she immediately gets muted. I'm like, dude, what is going on with this guy? Anyway, whatever. What was I had a point. All right, so one of the things I like is that Kate Sith, because he looks so awkward in the original. I like that he's just the cat, and then he summons the Moogle. I like that. That is so much better. Because he's
I
so
love how
clunky
in
and
some
awkward
scenes
in
you
the
can
original.
literally see him hanging on for dear life as he's being run around with this thing.
You can't
It's so
spoil
good.
it, but would be cool if they had an actual reaction from Vincent to Eric's death if that happened. Because I was rewatching the scene because I was in my video essay. I was like, everyone has a personal reaction, and I was rewatching that scene. I'm like, holy shit, Vincent literally just clips through her. And then,
ooh, yeah, we're definitely gonna have that conversation when we get there.
River, I don't know if we have any
The
Doctor
word
Who fans in the
clusterfuck
chat.
comes to mind.
I don't know if we have any Doctor Who fans in the chat, but I'm going to pull a River Song spoilers on that one. I'm going to pull that.
okay.
There we go.
Vincent is the man.
Yeah, I all I can say is clusterfuck. I actually get it more. It's one of those. It's just like remake is one of those endings you got to sleep on, and then the more I read through it, I mean, the more I look through it, I'm like, I see this reference and this reference. I'm like, oh, I see where they're going with this and where they're going with that. Yeah,
this is going to be an ending that is talked about. It's an ending that's going to be talked about without going into how it's going to be talked about, but it's going to be talked about.
No, Vaughn, I will say, of the reviews I saw, it was universally either didn't like it or what the fuck is happening. But I
heard is people were trying to figure out what happened.
But I think that's largely what was going on because the more I actually look at the ending,
the devs did not want to answer some questions, is what they did with the ending. The devs did not want to answer some questions, and they're not going to until part 3.
Yeah, part 3 is gonna hit hard. I am so excited because this too is where all the good shit is for me. So, I mean, this one obviously has some good stuff, and I love the stuff that they've added. They fleshed it out a lot more. Though I will say the padding in Rebirth is outrageous. I mean, it was
ridiculous.
It was clear that, like, as they said in the interview, I'm not giving anything away, they just said they wanted to end it in Forgotten City. And that was obvious by some of these chapters. Like, okay, really, this needs to be a whole chapter.
No, but it's not even that. It's like, okay, my problem is that they're extending shit that they don't. Well, they're adding the side quests, but I'm talking in terms of the padding the story. I actually didn't mind the padding the story itself.
No, the story, that's
in
fine.
between the side quest, and it's also they did Sid so fucking dirty. He's so generic, and then I'm afraid Vincent isn't Vincent and Sid aren't playable. Come on, man.
Yeah. They're gonna have to. They're not gonna have time to fuck around in part 3. We got all of the events of this 2 to go through. Plus, they've got to resolve everything going on with Zach. You got to have the reunion and all that.
We also have to go into the big reveal-ish in Rebirth that I'm not gonna. It exists.
Yeah, I like.
It exists.
I am.
It exists.
I'm convinced that it is what I thought it was 4 years ago. I'm convinced it's still what I thought it was 4 years ago, and we'll find out.
I am not convinced that it is that, and we will civilly disagree on that.
Yeah. I will say this, Vaughn. The devs have said multiple times they're going to remain largely faithful to the OG.
And I would argue that they are possibly doing something meta with that, and that they are tailoring their interview answers to a certain narrative that they are trying to put forward. And I'm not going to say anything more on that.
I hope that they stop. I hope that I like when people look. I understand you got to be. What was I going to say? I had a point. I was going to say, I think I don't like when people purposely subvert expectations. I understand twists and turns, but I also think when you have people that have been waiting this many years for a remake, just be faithful to it as much as you can and expand on it. That's my. I don't like
as much as people hope for it. I do not think that's where this is going. I think part 3 is going to be a heavy departure, and I'm not going to go into why.
Franchise I love doing. Oh, we got one over it. Wow, you really got me, man. Like,
if this is what they
ruins,
if this is what they hope it to be, which I think is what they hope it to be, is a quote unquote sequel, quote unquote, quote, to original FF7 and to possibly the compilation, then there's going to be a reason for that heavy departure. But it's going to determine there's going to be a scene in part 3, I think. This is theorizing. That is going to show us exactly what remake was always intended to be. And it's going to be very interesting how they handle it.
Got you. I'll say this. I think even just from a like you said, Vaughn, it'd be one thing if this was just a one-off OG and they never added to it or anything. And I'm not saying every medium ever, but a lot some of the same people have been working on this project the entire time. And the expectation is when you remake something, you're remaking it. And I think SC would I see no scenario in which they are going to throw literally millions of dollars out the window, still putting this content out. I think that's really important. I want to stress that they are still putting out content for avid children and these different spinoffs and in different stuff. Okay, like that is a crazy thing to do, is to keep reminding everybody what actually happened in this compilation, and then complete and in the same years that you're remaking the series and completely change how it ends.
I would argue that it is even crazier to quote unquote spoil the ending that early. I would argue that it makes more sense that we should maybe consider that link up to doesn't necessarily mean it has to be in the future.
Dude, all right. Maybe we should get off this because literally, you guys are like arguing.
I am dancing around this gently, so carefully. Like,
we are doing a waltz. Stargaze and I are doing a waltz right now. This is like Eric and Sephiroth the chapter 18 talking, and we're like, I don't know what they're talking about.
We are literally tiptoeing around Rebirth right now.
18 chapters? Or 18?
Oh, that's in remake, I think.
Oh yeah,
I think. Yeah, that's a remake.
Yeah,
no, there's 14 chapters in this game. 18 of them.
Do you think that there's any characters they didn't get right? I think they got almost everyone right. Why isn't Rufus his redhead though? Like, why did they change
redhead? What are you talking about? Are you talking about Reno?
Oh, he's talking about how the sort of semi strawberry blonde thing he had going on in those.
I was like, Reno?
No.
I was about to say.
Is he not a redhead? Oh, I guess he's more blonde in the original.
I think as far as characters they didn't get right in Rebirth, I would say, where is Rito? Help.
Wait, where is he? Does he not show up at all?
There's a reason. There's a reason. His iconic voice actor, Keiji Fujiwara, unfortunately passed away.
I didn't know
and
that.
so
they didn't cast him yet, and so
not yet.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to use what they had of him, and then I also heard that they used they pulled a Robin Williams on it for Once Upon a Studio at Disney. They basically went into the archives of unused takes he had for other stuff and compiled Reno's dialogue that way.
I played in English, so I didn't know about that. The English voice cast, I would say, is fantastic.
I love the English cast. Oh my god,
is perfect. They're all perfect. I will say one thing I noticed. I feel like Cloud almost has more charisma than later adaptations give him.
I literally love Cody as Cloud. I feel like he just nails his mannerisms.
Yeah, Cody's absolutely incredible. And by the way, he well, never mind.
Please, can we keep this on? Yes, can we keep this on just being? Let's not. No. That's on personal opinion. Let's not.
Yeah.
Unless it's the word of the devs, I don't think we should bring it up as far as that goes.
What does he support one side?
No, never mind.
Thank you.
You can guess by my response. So, but okay. I will say, I love his acting. Like, he has to do so many facets of Cloud. And him and the Ghost Saucer date is hilarious. Like, Cloud's acting is so bad. I love it. It is one of my favorite parts.
I thought that was the scene he was referring to in the interview, the Comic-Con interview or whatever it was. I thought that's what he was referring to as far as speaking another language, because I was like, oh, iambic pentameter, like Shakespearean, No, and then I found the real scene. And then I found the real scene, and I was deeply disturbed.
Yeah, I think there's two. Yeah,
I don't know the lore. I'm really interested.
So yeah, he's incredible. I I think the cast is
Barrett. I feel like is the most different of the
God,
cast.
John Eric Bentley, my beloved. Holy crap!
Too. But he's
Barrett
the one that
so
talks,
good.
I think, the most different from the originals.
Yes, they did that on purpose.
Yeah, I know. Because he was sounding more like Mr. T from Rocky 3. Or wait, no, his name is like that's what he said. But in the original, but I do think. Hang on, what was it?
What they've done basically with all of the characters and with a lot of this stuff, like for instance, there are things where you could like put suntan lotion on girls on the beach and stuff like that with Cloud, and that just really isn't in his character. So I think they cleaned up a lot of stuff that doesn't really make sense.
Does he do that in the original? I don't know.
Yes. If you go to the beach, there's one part where some girl can ask you to put suntan lotion on. Yeah,
I definitely did that.
And then he's leaving, he's ditching Eric outside so he can run and flirt with honeybee and girls up in the, he's like running in a brothel trying, basically. His house implying, and poor Eric sitting out there, like, hey, are you coming back? Like, what's going on?
Well, that's what I think. That's where I think it comes from, the gaming element of like. That's why I think they have to add stuff that it's like. They want you to do certain. It's kind of like how in the Telltale Walking Dead games, the game is clearly, even if there is, choice, clearly Lee is supposed to redeem himself. The whole art is written that way. Mm-hmm. You could technically play the game where he's a piece of shit the whole time, and then everyone still cries over you. You could technically do that, but it's like the narrative clearly goes in a direction.
And that's what that's another thing that's very important to understand, and that's why I'm pretty sure that there will be no affinity system in part 3, because
there will be no affinity system. I'm almost positive. Maybe one scene, maybe possibly just for a little, like, probably like Remake did it, where it's just like, oh, it's a little thing. Technically, like, it all happens, but like you can choose which one you see on this playthrough. So.
They may, and I do think that at the very least they'll do optional, some optional scenes for sure, no question. But like the big scenes, they'll be canon scenes. I mean, there's no reason the only reason that for instance, the Highwind scene that even worked is because it was one game. Now you got to split into a trilogy. They would have to introduce an entire affinity system solely for the purpose of after Cloud confesses and they have this big moment. I'm going to predict now they will kiss in the live stream scene. It's going to be a little odd if he didn't turn around and then like reject Tifa.
I will highly disagree with that prediction.
I start. I'll see you in 3 years. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it 3 years?
Yeah, I'm pretty. Look, it is. I'm telling you, it's well, man, because Nojima knows what everybody's looking forward to in part 3.
I would argue that yes, he does, but it is certainly not what you think it's going to be.
I want.
So far, I haven't been disappointed, but I guess we'll see.
Listen, I want playable Vincent and Sid.
Oh, we'll definitely get that.
But I want Vincent to actually like do stuff in the main. Give him like a side quest, like how the others got. I can't. The thing is, I can't talk about it because do we not see? Because the thing is, in the original game, you see Rocket Town, you see Mount Nebel, and you see Wutai before we get.
They are saving Rocket Town and Wutai for part 3. Yeah, they definitely are.
Yeah, Rocket Town, Wutai, Lucretia's Cave, anything they do around
Icicle Inn,
Reeve. That's all part 2. So how we're likely going to, based on what Hamaguchi said. I don't know exactly how they're going to do, but there's a path to Northern Crater. I think we'll definitely go to Icicle Inn just because that's where Aerith was born. It's a nice place to mourn her. I mean, like if they want to go that route of whatever happens,
they will. Yeah, I don't think we'll be snowboarding in part 3, to be honest.
No, I hope not. I mean, because it's hilarious, but at the same time,
unless, and this is a thought that I have had. Because shit's going to get real in part 3. It's going to get messy really quickly. So I almost wonder if they fade in from Black on them snowboarding, and they show like it being like a funny little like comic relief to start it off, because shit's gonna go down the rest of this game. You know,
I don't know. I feel like they
can we have music for the snowboarding section this time, please?
Please,
good controls.
It's so weird.
Honestly, I think the way that they'll, at least the way I would advise, if I were telling them, is to put the snowboarding, the original stuff, in Gold Saucer, and then just have them like, I don't know. It just I feel like it would break the mood too much considering everything going on.
It doesn't.
Well,
It's just like depressing.
Yeah, the way that it would open up though would be a little bit lighter, so that you're ready for the depressing shit that's going to come afterwards.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like gently dropping you in.
Yeah. But I'm really looking forward to part.
First of all right, I have a question because I only played it on PC. How? Because there's the sequence. I wish I fucking recorded it. Where it's the marching sequence.
Mm-hmm.
How? Because the controls on PC, you literally can't do anything. Is it like actually doable?
I hate that. Look, I was dreading that Junon sequence so much because I hated it. I absolutely, yeah, she should come back. Yeah. I hated it, and because the controls were trash. So I haven't played it on PC, but it would not surprise me in the slightest. But yeah, so
sorry, I keep disconnecting. I keep forgetting that I can't leave this page on my phone.
No problem. So like I said, I'm quite excited. I hope to start taking bets on part 3. I don't know if we should be doing that. I don't know. I'm just joking. But yeah, I just know that.
This game didn't do financially well, right?
Yeah. And people are theorizing all over the place about that. But I'm not going to
budget costs on stupid fucking mini games. I'm not even just saying that for I'm saying that more because I'm annoyed with it. But like,
if it makes you feel any better, Vaughn, they had a survey that nobody outside of Japan could answer. You had to have a Japanese Square Enix account, and they like literally checked your like IP address and stuff like that to make sure you were in Japan. Anybody that I saw replying to the post announcing that is literally what they mentioned. Too many mini games, too many mini games, too many mini games, too many mini games. The whole way down. Nothing else was said in the replies of that tweet. It was literally just many mini games. Please limit it. Too many mini games. Like the whole thing.
Yeah, they've got to. They don't have enough time. Like I said,
what do you guys think was the worst mini game? Because I reluctantly kind of like. I don't even want to admit it. The last one I did, the Chadley bot, that one was horrible.
That damn one in Cosmo Canyon you're talking about.
The piano one is up with the best ones.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say they didn't like the box throwing with Kachi, and I'm like, but it's the only chapter you can play. It's Kachi. But I get it. It is pretty tiresome.
Which one?
The Kate Sith one where he's throwing the boxes is trash.
All right,
you haven't gotten to Nibelheim, but I don't think it's spoilers to say Kachi throws boxes.
He thought
because they literally showed it in a trailer. Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't a mini game; it was a side quest. The fucking if you go and watch my gameplay of this, I am like so livid. It was the fucking chicken rounding
the chickens.
Fucking
I knew you were gonna say it.
Seething playing that part of the game.
You know what? I actually want to play that one because
I feel like they made that side quest just to piss off players in like a little trolly like. See guys, we can make this game hard.
I'm trying to find the footage of me just playing it because I was like so fucking angry.
Well, hey, it's after midnight for me, so I gotta work more. So I'm gonna go.
I'm signing off as well, unfortunately.
Thank you guys so much. So have a good time and I'll keep playing the game. Yeah.
Enjoy.
Thanks for having us on, and we will definitely talk after you finish the game.
Yes, absolutely.
And please do not go on my page because I will spoil something massive for you if you do so.
All right, you got
Use me until you beat it.
Sounds good.
All right.
So thank you guys to everyone that watched, and I'll plug my. You guys can head out whenever, and I'll just plug my stuff.
You two have a good night.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Have a good one. That was fun, man. I gotta talk with Final Fantasy VII fans more. I don't know how many people are watching on Twitter, but thank you guys so much. They were great. All right, here we go. Let me go ahead and see civil disagreements. That was very civil. That was very nice. And then we agreed on a lot. We just had fun. Okay, I do want to pull this up. So part of why I did this video essay, I've wanted to do it for a while before I was even doing this. I've been working on this comic book for a while. 3 days left of this initial funding goal, but it will also be available after. It's going to shut down for 5 days. But for Final Fantasy VII fans, there is a limited edition Final Fantasy VII variant cover. It's an homage to the original cover of the original game. So if that's interesting to you, my comic is set 20 years after World War III and follows the idealistic son of a war hero who is struck by lightning while holding a mysterious crystal, and he finds himself awakening with lightning powers and lightning speed. You can get the main cover for $20 plus shipping. You could get the variant covers for $25, and the variant covers are going to be campaign exclusive, so it will be available on my website later. But if you back the campaign, everyone who backs the campaign gets this mini print, this exclusive mini print for free. The book is mostly done, so you're guaranteed to get it. It's basically just a pre-order. So, but everyone who gets it will get this mini print for free with their order. And also all of the other variant covers that are in the main cover are campaign limited. So that Final Fantasy VII homage cover, limited. I was writing the script, and there was a part where he looks up at a futuristic reactor that he's going to go and try and stop a villain that's doing a heist at a reactor. And I don't know if it was subconsciously inspired by Final Fantasy VII, but there's a part where he looks up at the reactor, and I'm like, I should do an homage cover to that. So I hired my trading card artist who did this one right here. And I was like, because she's a Final Fantasy VII fan, and I was like, can you do this cover? And she killed it. She killed it. She did great. So, and also this trading card, it was day one exclusive if you back day one, but I decided to bring it back for only these last 3 days. So if you want the trading card that was only available for day one, that's going to be very rare, exclusive, you can get that for just $5, but you can only get it within the next 3 days. So if you want that, make sure to back it. It's an add-on, so you have to get the comic as well, but basically you just choose reward on whatever cover or covers you want. Choose the appropriate tier, and then also to choose reward, and then you go to your cart and you could get it there. So if you're interested in that, definitely check that out. And also, if I see you guys at a convention or in person, I'll happily sign for free. But if you want it sent to you signed, it's just $5 extra. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been great. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Just look up my name, Vaughn Coleman. I am going to be playing this game on stream. I, of course, have my video essay. I also do... Let me know what kind of content you guys want to see. But yeah, we're getting new backers. I've gotten 3 new backers today. And if you like my taste in storytelling and my writing, maybe you'll like this. And also, if you're watching, if you came here from the clip that everyone was flipping their shit about, and you're like, where did that come from? Well, it wasn't just a 46-second clip. Like I said, it's a over 2-hour video essay called Final Fantasy VII, a Masterclass in Storytelling. That is on my channel. Let me go ahead and pull that up. That video essay is right here on my channel. So just go ahead and check that out. I poured so much time and energy into it, and means the world, man. Thank you guys so much. I don't know who's still watching. Wild Stream. It was, but you know, I liked it. I want to expand to just new audiences and just gush about stuff I love and just meet new people. It's so fun. It seems like a lot of people from Twitter haven't come over to YouTube, but that's okay. I hope you guys do. This will be available after the fact if you want to scrub through and come around. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to play the trailer for my comic as we go out, and I'll put the link to my comic on Twitter as well. How do I show I'm live right now? How do I there we go. So here's the trailer to my comic. Wait, no, what did I just post? Or that might be the video essay. That's a video essay on Twitter. I just posted that there, and I'm going to post the link to my comic. I hope. Let's see if we got some Final Fantasy VII fans that like comics, or if not, maybe you'll get into it. Thank you guys so much, and let me go ahead and play the trailer for my comic as I head out, in case I haven't sold you guys. And stay tuned. I was gonna play the game tonight, but then this drama happened. I thought I'd capitalize on it and make some good connections, and I did. So thank you guys. Have a great rest of your night. When the whole world was dragged into World War III, brave men like my father fought on the front lines. And they weren't alone. That was 20 years ago. Now it's up to us to carry on their legacy. And every so often, the earth from which we come gives way for something new, something greater to be born. And with them, even greater threats to face. Bring it on! Phenomenova. For you, Dad. For you.